The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Harry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Mone, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast-track your career now.
People from all over the world are seeking inspiration, looking for answers, looking to become the best version of themselves. The Best You series, we will feature the best speakers, coaches, authors, podcasters, and mentors. Leaders in their own right. Innovators, influencers, inspirers of the 21st century. Available now on the Best You TV.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
One of the things I frequently say is that we don't think about what we're thinking about. And not only we're not thinking about what we're thinking about, we just have really terrible thoughts. A lot of people just have this terrible internal dialogue, which all they're doing is just being detrimental to themselves. They're saying terrible things to themselves. So the first thing you need to be is you need to be aware. You need to be aware of your thoughts. You need to be able to think what you're thinking about and making sure that what you're thinking about are things that are going to help you, empower you. And that's what I say normally is that the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. If you ask yourself empowering questions, unconsciously you're going to start finding ways in where you can find a solution to that, to go where you want to go. And one of the things I really find interesting and fascinating that there's so many people that think, but then they think small. Oh my God, why would you? If you're going to think big. It's free. Think big.
Welcome to Break. This is the Love Event, and you have been hearing some great and amazing people, some real difference makers and world changers. And you might be asking yourself, how do I get involved? Well, this is just the first of many events to come along. And as you know, Bernardo Moya is putting on some big ones, including what he's best known for, the Best You Expo, coming 2023. Get involved.
Founded in 2011, Hotmart is one of the global leaders in digital product sales. With a global presence and offices around the world, Hotmart is in a state of constant growth. Our mission has already helped thousands of people build online businesses and thousands of buyers learn something new, achieving personal and professional development.
This is commercial break, but don't go anywhere because it's an important message. Bernardo Moya, thank you for helping us put on the Love event. This was your dream. This was your vision. It's so much fun to see it all happen live and in real time here. But this is just the beginning. 2023 is the next Best You Expo. It's at the LA Convention Center. You want the dates, the time, the details, and how you get involved. Well, just stay tuned. Are you a speaker? Are you an author? Are you an expert? Do you have a message for the world? Are you crazy enough to think that you could actually make a difference? Well, at Top Talent Agency, we're looking for you. We want to help you publish that book, get the publicity you deserve, and actually monetize the message that you have to help other people. If you feel like you need somebody working in your corner to publish you, to publicize you, to promote you, to market you, to book you on stage, to get you featured in the media, then we're what you're looking for, and we want to talk to you. Go to toptagency.com or reach out to us today because you deserve someone to manage your talent.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and memories. Life is about being alive, feeling alive. Life is about dealing with whatever fate throws at you. Life is about staying on top when things are challenging. Life is about enjoying yourself, about finding yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
Good morning. Good morning. Here we are, day 3 at the Love event. Real conversations about kindness, caring, and consciousness. It's been an amazing 2 days. I am so grateful to so many great speakers, panelists, and all the attendees, and the beautiful, loving comments. I am extremely grateful and humble. So yes, it's yesterday was phenomenal. We had the Superhuman panel with Nate Zelensky, Chad Allen. We had Caroline Corrie, Dr. Todd. What a phenomenal panel that was. And then we had Caroline Corrie, the executive producer of Superhuman, the documentary, sharing a beautiful talk. We had Dr. Darcy talking about, well, jealousy and Santa Claus and love and relationships. She was absolutely brilliant. She hosted then a panel afterwards, which was the Rated R panel. Love that. What a great day. What a great day. Sajady also hosted a great panel around love. Do we cultivate love, find love? We had another panel around tough love. In business, we talked about the media, so many great things. So I'm not sure if you're joining us today for the first time, but obviously there's an opportunity for you to be able to watch your recordings. And I know a lot of you have gone premium for the premium online ticket, which we really, well, we're grateful. It allows us, enables us to carry on putting these events, but it's packed with bonuses. It's got over $10,000 worth of bonuses with everyone pretty much involved. Even people that aren't involved are contributing. Marisa Peer, Dr. John DeMartini, Reid, David Fagan, Jen DuPlessis, Sajady, myself, Nate Zelensky. There's so many great people that have contributed, so many great bonuses. So I highly recommend just get your phone out and scan that QR code if you still want to take advantage of it, because you'll be able to see the recordings first. Okay, we're obviously recording this, so make sure you take advantage. Just a couple of house rules for the day. That's it, really. We're going to be showing and sharing, and a lot of the speakers are. They're so generous. Every speaker, every panelist is contributing with something. So get your phones out, scan those QR codes. Get in touch with them, take advantage of the amazing expertise and knowledge they have. Remember, these are people that have been, well, they spent years and years in researching and learning and practicing and writing. And they're giving up their Friday, Saturday, Sunday and time and wisdom for you to be able to take advantage of that. So make sure that you do, please, engage, connect with them, because everyone here has been so loving and so generous. So apart from that, I want to do like I've done every morning. I want to thank a lot of the people that have contributed with their time, effort, and money, to make this event happen. And David Fagan, Isabel Fagan, and obviously their amazing team, Sajady, Jen DuPlessis, Hotmart, which is a sponsor partner, Positive Prime. We had also Kim Serafini speaking yesterday, explaining everything related to Positive Prime. Her talk was phenomenal. She did a meditation for us. It was so inspiring, so lovely. We also had Newcomb, Jim Poole. Love Jim. He was also talking about his technology. Phenomenal. So thanks to them as well. I want to thank Danella Burnett, who's actually involved in a panel later on today. Alison Maya Rogers, who's also involved in a panel today. Jennifer Hough, Ken Ronchen, Caroline Corey. I want to thank anyone and everyone and all the panelists, everyone that's involved in the event. So today, I'll read out obviously kind of what you can expect, although the agenda is on the webpage, you can check it, but it's all there. But this morning, I'm going to be spotlighting a few people. Dr. Reid, great friend. I'm excited to speak to him. Haven't seen him for a long time. Jen Hough, Jason Smirk from Hotmart. We're also going to be spotlighting him. We've got a panel which is speakers for making the world a better place, hosted by Danella Burnett, and some great guests. We've got Reid, who's speaking at 11:10 Eastern Time. His talk is Secret of Happiness. We've got Shiraz Baboo talking about the problem is actually the solution, why you secretly want the big problem. We've got a panel on radical alternative healing that's going to be happening at 12:15. We've got, I'm interviewing someone I love very dearly, someone who's very close to my heart, Michelle Patterson, Women Change the World. I'm spotlighting her for a few minutes this morning, just before her talk, which is at 1 o'clock, Love Cures All. Find out how Michelle diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and only just a few months to live, how, she's just managed to come back. I love her very dearly. Very grateful to have her here today. We've got Barbie Layton, who's also going to be sharing a talk, Choose Your Frequency, Choose Your Life. We're going to be featuring Sajady with his new book coming up soon, and then How to Cultivate Love. We've got a panel which is called Unlimited Love Discussions on Ethical Non-Monogamy, and that's myself with Alison Rogers and Gerald Rogers. That's going to be an exciting panel. We've also got another panel at 3 o'clock. That's Love is Good Business, How Businesses Are Succeeding and Making a Difference. That's hosted by Doria Cordova. We also have another, I'm talking at 3:45 p.m., Becoming Conscious, Becoming Love. And then we got a great panel, very excited. There's a lot of people excited about this panel, which is called Aliens, Ghosts, and the Supernatural, Understanding the Beyond. And then, yes, nearly at the end of the day, 4:45, we got Mr. Ken Honda, the author of Happy Money. He's got a great talk, How to Be Loved by Money. And that's it. Then at 5:20 p.m. today, Eastern Time, I'm going to be thanking my partners, inviting a lot of people to come and join us. And that's pretty much it. That's what we've got ready for today. I'm going to be inviting a few guests in a minute, but not yet. Now, we've been getting a lot of questions related to the Best You Expo in Facebook, in obviously through Instagram, through Zoom. And I'm not sure how you're watching, but if you're watching this, obviously the recording, it is available and will be available at the Best You TV app. The Love event will be uploaded there no later than 7 days. But for all those of you that have bought the premium online ticket or decide or choose to buy it today, well, you get instant access to those recordings early next week, plus all the bonuses. So if we would love you to engage in Facebook, comment on Zoom. You've got a Zoom link as well. The advantage of Zoom is obviously that you can well, basically share, any ideas you've got. You can connect, ask questions. So make sure that you engage. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think, and so do the speakers, of course. So let me just give you a very quick insight of the Best You Expo. Because I said, we've got a lot of people very excited about the Best You Expo, which is coming back. So for some of you that may or may not know, this has been my flagship event. It's an event that I did in London. We went from 3,000 to 14,000 people. The last event in London, we had 180 speakers. It was a 3-day event. And I also had scheduled an event in LA, which was in March 2020. Oh my God, nearly 3 years now. Yes. And we're back. We're back between the 3rd and the 5th of March. So I hope that you guys, if you're a speaker, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you're a therapist, and you want to take advantage of getting involved in the Best You Expo, well, you can. There's an opportunity. All you got to do is just get your phone out, scan it. And you can either get your free ticket, you can speak, or you can exhibit. You can apply to speak and exhibit. Obviously, there is an investment involved because we're planning in bringing anything between 15 and 25,000 people. There's 10 stages. There's all sorts of opportunities for all of you to get involved. If you go to the bestyouexpo.com page, you'll be able to download the deck. You can see, well, basically all the opportunities. Just click on speak, exhibit, or your free ticket, whatever your choice is. But let me just share the floor plan because it's very, very exciting. And we've got so many great rooms. We've got the Best for Business, Consciousness and Love room, the Empowering Women room, the Inspiration Zone, the Main Stage, the Masters, Mentors and Influencers, Mindfulness and Wellbeing, Passion to Profit, Yoga, Meditation, you name it, we have it. It's 90,000 square feet. Yes, it's a big, big space. And as you can see, all these rooms, these are all the rooms. They've got around 100 people, each of these rooms, plus also the main stage. Now we've got this special partners area where we're going to have an event within the event. So that's very exciting, a lot more to be announced around that. And as you can see, these are all the booths. So you can be involved, you could be speaking, and it's just going to be very exciting. I'm so excited to come back for us to be able to share, so many opportunities for people to speak, to share their expertise, their knowledge. And the Best You Expo is back 3rd to the 5th of March. That's in 2023. We've obviously shared a few videos and messages around it. I'd love to hear if you feel that if you have a message that needs to get out there. Well, we would love to hear what that is, because this event, and this is going to be a very prominent subject within the expo, is how can we elevate consciousness? How can we become more loving? That has to be part of the conversations of people in the personal development world. It has to be, because the world needs love. There's just too much tension going on. There's too much of what separates us instead of what brings us together. We're all humans, and at the end of the day, we all go to the same place. So that's what we're going to be focusing at the Best You Expo. We're looking for people that believe in that same message. So what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to bring in first my friend who I haven't seen for a long time, but obviously I've been following. We message each other, and that is Dr. Reid. There he is.
Good to see you, brother. I got to tell you, the Best You Expo was truly one of the highlights of my career. I met some of the most amazing people when we did it in London. And when I heard you're doing up in LA, I was like going, woo, let's get the band back together, baby.
Yes, man. Well, listen, I'm so grateful, Greg. Yes, you did speak in the last one in London. You flew over, and you were involved also in the first one we did in Long Beach, California. So let me just introduce Greg if he needs an introduction. He's known for being the founder of Secret Knock. He is a producer of the Oscar qualified film The Wish Man, based on the creator of Make-A-Wish Foundation, streaming on Netflix now. For over 25 years, Greg has inspired millions of people to take personal responsibility to step into the potential of their greatness. And as such, his life contribution has been recognized by government leaders, foreign princes, as well as luminaries in education, business, and industry. But this doesn't make any justice at all to this man, because, Greg, I've said this to you, but I don't say this to a lot of people. If I could be born again, okay, I keep my looks, but I would love, okay, but I would love to be you, because your life has been phenomenal. I obviously met you through City Gala, through mutual friend, rest in peace, Ryan Long. But we hit it off from the beginning, you know, and what you've done, the people who you've interviewed, the books you've written, the events that you produce, the way you speak. I mean this from a place of love and tremendous respect, because there's a lot of people out there, we talk about this, isn't there, who should read their own books. You know, well, listen, you write your own books and you follow your own books. You're so congruent, man. So listen, congratulations. Big kudos to you, man.
Thank you very much. It is an honor and privilege to be with you, brother. And I really appreciate how you're bringing love to the world, something that everyone needs a little bit more of. And later on, when I'm doing a little boom shakalaka for you, I'm going to switch the pace up a little bit and give a little bit of tough love, if you don't mind, as well.
Absolutely, man. And you bring that in such a beautiful way. Listen, we'll share how people can contact you afterwards, but there's his QR code if you want to get your phone out now. But Greg will be speaking later, so you can have an opportunity to engage with him. But who hasn't heard of Greg Reid? Who hasn't? The event? What's the thing? The event that you're not invited in unless obviously you.
Yeah. It's so funny. We got named by Forbes magazine as the greatest event you cannot attend unless you're invited. And it's so funny. We're 6 months out. We have, I think, less than 18 tickets, and we're sold out. Not bad, right?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is, because it's not only an event, the quality of the people you bring, Greg, but it's a show. It's a show, man. I mean, the last one, which I saw online, you know, I saw the pictures and the images afterwards. It's just absolutely spectacular. You kept on stepping it up and stepping it up. I don't know what you're going to take.
Well, like I said, wait till you see this next one. But the main thing is, you and I had this talk, like playing ping pong, right? It says it's not just about all the coaches and teachers and mentors. A lot of times people want to hear it right from the source themselves. So our whole concept is, instead of, you know, talking about starting a clothing line, we bring in the founder of UGG Boots, who started a $1 billion brand, say, hey, this is the way it really works. If you have a board game, here's a guy who did Pictionary. If you want to start a nonprofit, again, here's the founder of Make-A-Wish. Where would our lives be by surrounding ourselves with people that are actually accomplishing it? And you and I talk about this nonstop. Seek counsel, not opinion, which I'll go on a little bit more of a deep dive when I have my one-on-one time a little bit later on.
Yeah, and one of the things, we lost some great people, obviously we all have over the last couple of years, but apart from obviously Ryan Long was Bernie Dorman, and I know, you know, who's very close to your heart as well. You spoke a lot of times at the CEO space. But Greg, listen, I'm just so grateful. You've invited me to be along at the Secret Knock next year, which is just after the expo, I believe. Ours is on 3rd, 5th of March. What dates are yours?
Absolutely correct. And you're going to be one of our keynote top speakers at Secret Knock. Let's not ignore that. So you're going to be prime time in front of everybody. And finally, we got to get, like I said, the band back together, put my group in front of your group so we can synergize and make the world a brighter place.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. And same, likewise, as far as I'm concerned, well, you already confirmed, obviously, as a speaker to the Best You Expo, and love to help you in any way that we can. Any kind of little, I know you've shared a little bit of what you're going to be talking about later, but what are you going to give us?
Well, I've been working on a new book and a documentary. It's called The Secret of Happiness. And for over a year now, I've been interviewing everyone from housewives to celebrities, from millionaires to icons, to find out exactly what how their heart sings. And it's been very interesting. So I'm going to reveal 3 of the top aha takeaway moments, but also talk about some of the classic works that I've been doing, because people want to hear about 3 Feet from Gold and stickability and thoughts are things with Bob Proctor now that he's passed away. So we're going to do a quick little deep dive in a few topics. But the main thing is, again, what is the secret of happiness? I'm going to share at least some of those discoveries when I talk.
Well, Greg, I'm really looking forward to it. And listen, because this is embarrassing. Okay, I've just published another book. This is my 5th one. How many books have you written?
Well, I've been part of now. That means either I've written, ghost written, the copy, I've been co-author, I've been featured, whatever, 140 some odd books. I think 48 languages around the world. Check this out. I just got a star on the Walk of Fame. And here's the best part. I'm dyslexic. I can't spell, read, write. Play me Words with Friends to win every single time. And so the whole thing is you work your strengths and hide your weaknesses. Again, I'll go a little bit of deep dive on that when I come up.
Yeah, the teachers were right up with you, weren't they? They knew that you wouldn't achieve anything.
Yeah, it's so funny. I found my old report card the other day, and I got an F in creative writing. And whatever. What are you going to do, right? Never let another person tell you what you can and cannot do.
Exactly, man. All right, Greg. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. I'll see you later, man.
Take care. All right.
Yes. Well, Greg, what a legend! What an absolute legend! It's definitely going to be one of the highlights of the Love event. What an amazing individual. Let me bring in Jennifer Hough now. I'll bring in David in a minute and Jason. Jennifer, how are you? Lovely.
Hey, how are you, Bernardo? I'm great.
Very good. Lovely to see you again.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Gosh, I had a great meditation this morning with all the people here. So I'm all lit up and ready to go.
You're shining. Jennifer Hough is the #1 international best-selling author in 8 countries of the book Unstuck, The Physics of Getting Out of Your Own Way, a speaker and a CEO of The Wide Awakening. She has the gift of holographic vision to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. This allows her to see what is in your way so you can fully love your life and get unstuck. Her work has been featured in documentaries, TV, radio, best-selling books, and on stages around the world. Jen, you shared, well, first of all, let me just say that I met Jen through Dame Doria Cordova. I always like recognizing and acknowledging those that introduced us to each other. And well, we hit it off, and I remember it was supposed to be an official meeting because we were talking about something, and all of a sudden, I could see she was channeling, or something, something was coming, something was happening, and she said to me, "Oh, can I be honest?" And obviously, and of course, I love it. Give it to me, and oh my God, she could see through me, and since then, she's been coaching me, helping me. I've never had a spiritual coach till I met you, and you've guided me and helped me so much. So you're just pure wisdom. Pure knowledge, spirituality, and obviously also with an amazing life. So thank you so much for being who you are and all the great things you bring to the world.
Oh, thank you. So, Bernardo, as soon as I met you, I thought, oh, he's one of those. And when I say one of those, there's so many people around the world right now and their hearts are being called. They know that there's something more to life. They also know that they're supposed to be a part of the shift that's happening right now. So you talked about, I always ask the question, what would love do? And this morning, it was very clear to me that what love would do is have a communion with everyone in the event, because there are so many of the people that you've attracted that are people that are called to that something more. They know that they're meant to be a part of the shift in the world. And those are the people that I love working with, because, I'm not a super woo person. I'm actually extremely scientific. I'm an economist. I'm an economist. I studied physics. I studied biology. I had the largest nutrition practice in Canada. So my background is extremely scientific. I wanted to know, which is why I was so attracted to communing with you. I wanted to know, for the purposes of assisting the leaders that are making the biggest shift in the world, to be able to optimize their ability through the laws of physics to be able to actually answer that question that I talked about on Friday. What's the greatest thing you can do to make the biggest difference that would cause the most amount of energy when you wake up in the morning, and have you leaving this world satisfied that you did the most that you could do to make your contribution and to live your best life, to coin someone else's phrase.
Well, thank you so much. And so Jen has helped me in the process of getting my book out, A Man Evolving.
Oh, so good.
And I remember kind of like I was going up and down and, and this and that. And then also we were talking about, because, I have had this responsibility of the Best You, now the Love event. So I've been a conduit for a long time, and it's difficult, sometimes, because I want to do my own thing, but Bernardo wants to do his own thing. But kind of, I just felt that I've got this. I said it was a calling. I think you reworded me.
Yes.
And the fact is that you really provided me clarity and a lot of the stuff that I was already sharing in the book, but I wasn't sharing, which was opening about love and
yes,
about how I feel. And to be honest, Jen, I will say to you that the moment I started sharing that more, things started coming to me.
Right.
And so a lot of the people that have come to the Love event have come to us in the last 2-3 months, and I am really, really feeling the love, and I'm feeling the love this weekend. So I'm very grateful.
So glad.
I'm very grateful to everyone that's contributed.
I'm feeling it too. Oh my gosh, some of the panels are just, earth shattering. So beautiful. I mean, Bernardo, the reason you and I had that conversation about love, and I'm like, dude. And we had that great conversation, is because love and gravity are the only two things. Well, there's one other thing, but that's too complex to talk about. Love and gravity are two things that everyone understands. And love and gravity, the metaphysical existence of them, permeate every single dimension of reality. Every dimension you can imagine. They're the only two things that we can understand that permeate everything. So if you can operate from that place, imagine how efficient and effective the shifts are. They're fractal, they're multidimensional. They're photon. They get received by everybody around the world because they activate photons filled with information that everyone receives. So all of a sudden, when we operate from, when I say gravity, I really mean passion. When we operate from our passion, which causes the centrifugal force of the spiral of our life, so hence gravity, and we operate from love, which permeates every dimension, we affect everything. We affect civilization, but we affect the cosmos. We affect our physicality. We affect our puppy dogs. We affect all of it. So it's when we forget to infuse, that's why this event just speaks to me so profoundly. We forget that is the one thing that when we can come, that's why I asked the question, what would love do? It's such a powerful question. I mean, all of my clients are so used to it now that they're, oh yeah, what would love do? Right.
I've definitely got that in my book as well. Yeah, what would love to? If in doubt, what would love to? Jen, thank you so much. I know you're in a panel with Dame Doria Cordova later.
Can't wait. Yeah.
I can't wait to see you girls. Thank you so much. Take care. Lots of love. See you later.
Thanks for everything, Bernardo.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to bring Jason in and just do a brief intro to Jason, who is one of our sponsors through Hough. Jason, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Bernardo?
Very good. Very good. Jason, thank you. You shared a talk the other day, gave some great insights. We've got some great tips from everyone. Well, you provided some great tips. Jason Smircich is the sales and marketing expert and head of new business at Hough, helping entrepreneurs scale their digital product businesses worldwide via knowledge, network, and technology. Jason has been involved in digital marketing and the info product industry for over 10 years. Jason joined Hough in 2019 as the first employee in the US office, and he's helped dozens of entrepreneurs to grow their revenue from 5 figures to a multiple 6 figures and growing. They have some great, obviously, apart from having a massive network and list, they have amazing clients like a digital marketer, Ryan Levesque, Marisa Peer, Dave Meltzer, and many more that are coming on board. So, Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernardo. It's been a great event. I just saw Greg Reid, so I've been to his event, Secret Knock, and it's amazing.
Great. So, Jason, you guys obviously provide and help a lot of speakers, authors, coaches, trainers out there to share their expertise and their wisdom. Everything that's been uploaded, obviously, I believe that we all do it because we come from a place of love, don't we? I mean, we all want to help the world, and at the end of the day, how do you? Okay, well, you can write books, you can create products, you can speak, but obviously reaching more people is one of the ways that we can do it, which has obviously been our intention. That's why we're streaming on the Best You TV. That's why we're going to make these talks available so anyone can watch it any time at a later date. So that's a lot of the service that you guys provide. You do provide an opportunity for people to be able to share their love, but obviously in a digital format and done in a great way.
Yep, 100%. Actually, our mission is to help people make a living off their passions. And that's pretty much the core of how we treat our clients, how we, like you're saying, helping people to sell worldwide, helping people monetize their passions. Also, of our 3 pillars, it's love, autonomy, and freedom. So this is the mindset, the emotional component, if you will, that we approach everything that we do. So I had mentioned at my talk the other day that we are transactional fee based, meaning we don't have a monthly SaaS fee, right? Which means that we really put our heart and soul into everyone's businesses that we work on. We're kind of consultants plus the tool component. So we really believe in what we do and helping people share their message with the world.
Well, we obviously have the premium online ticket. For those of you that are watching, you can, if you did decide to go in there and take us on the premium online ticket, or you already have, well, we're using Hotmart as a platform that provides you, the opportunity to buy the product. But I'm very interested myself personally. I know we had this conversation the other day because I consider myself Spanish, so I am bilingual. But for me, tapping into the Spanish-speaking market is always something that I've been very attracted to, and I'm hoping that's going to happen now moving forward. That was the origin, isn't it? You've got a massive reach, and you were even telling me you're sharing the story of Marisa Peer and putting some stuff out onto the Spanish-speaking market, no? Because I think people miss the point on that. It's as a great opportunity.
Oh yeah, this is the world is getting a smaller place, and we have the #1 payment processor for digital products in Latin America. And originally we started in Brazil, but now we're worldwide and been in the US, as you mentioned. And we'd love to have your products in Spanish. I think basically Marisa Peer, we're launching 2 products of hers. There are 2 challenges, one on abundance, one on confidence. Should be either later this month or next. And it's just amazing to see how people around the world kind of, if the message resonates with you, it doesn't matter the language you speak, it can reach multiple folks around the world, English, Spanish, Portuguese. So it's a beautiful thing to see that kind of ripple effect and how people are just thirsty to get great knowledge.
Well, I've thought that for a long time. And me, myself personally, we're trying to help as many people as we can to tap into the Spanish speaking market, because I've always known it's not that it's the future, it's the present, and so less competitive than the English speaking or, the US market. So Jason, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Hotmart for your support as a sponsor of the event. I want to thank you as well, because I know that you guys are involved in the Best You Expo, which is great and exciting for us. We're going to have bigger conversations about how we can really make a big splash, because I know you guys got a big community, and we want to get there as many people as possible to watch it live, but also watch it online. So Jason, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Bernardo. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, great. We've got a great panel coming up very, very soon. And this is a panel from someone that has helped us, supported us a lot, Danella Burnett. And her panel is called Speakers for Making the World a Better Place. And we're going to be literally bringing them on in a few minutes. But for now, all I wanted to do is to share a very quick message, and we'll be right back.
Founded in 2011, Hotmart is one of the global leaders in digital product sales. With a global presence and offices around the world, Hotmart is in a state of constant growth. Our mission has already helped thousands of people build online businesses, and thousands of buyers learn something new, achieving personal and professional development.
This is commercial break, but don't go anywhere because it's an important message. Bernardo Moya, thank you for helping us put on the Love event. This was your dream. This is your vision. It's so much fun to see it all happen live and in real time here. But This is just the beginning. 2023 is the next Best You Expo. It's at the LA Convention Center. You want the dates, the time, the details, and how you get involved. Well, just stay tuned. Are you a speaker? Are you an author? Are you an expert? Are you an expert? Do you have a message for the world? Are you crazy enough to think that you could actually make a difference? Well, at Top Talent Agency, we're looking for you. We want to help you publish that book, get the publicity you deserve, and actually monetize the message that you have to help other people. If you feel like you need somebody working in your corner to publish you, to publicize you, to promote you, to market you, to put you on stage, to get you featured in the media, then we're what you're looking for, and we want to talk to you. Go to toptagency.com or reach out to us today because you deserve someone to manage your talent.
Here we are. Thank you so much for my previous guest. And just getting started. We're just getting started on day 3. So I'm going to invite straight away Danella Burnett because I want to give her a special thank you. Danella.
Hello, Bernardo. Good morning.
Good morning. We spoke briefly the other day, but I wanted to thank you once again for all your help, all your support, for bringing us some great speakers. And for being who you are, because you've always been with me. You've been always open-hearted, and you've always been very generous. You've helped us promote the event. You brought some great speakers. So a special thank you to you because I wanted to, be very grateful for that.
Well, thank you. You're a very easy man to be open-hearted to and to collaborate with. You have incredible events, incredible ideas, and excited for what we'll be doing next March as well.
Absolutely, and so am I. We had a brief conversation the other day about Danella and her companies. Danella is the owner of Encore Elite Events and Speakers, Need to Speak. She is a creative force with a passion for connecting experts to those they serve through speaking and events while generating profitable and impactful visibility. Through her connections, millions of dollars have been generated and tens of thousands of lives impacted through speaking and live events. So Danella, I'm very excited about, getting you and your platform at the expo, because apart from having individual speakers, which we're going to have hundreds of speakers, we're very interested in exploring how we could have other people, invite other people to have events within the event. So, that's one of the things that we were talking about the other day. So Danella, I'm going to let you bring in your guests. I'm just going to say hi to all of them, as I can see they're there. I want to thank, Laurie. I want to thank also David Chametzky, who I've spoken to already. Dr. Mort, I know he's also there as well. I want to thank Rich, who I did speak to. Love Rich. And Shiraz. I also spoke to Shiraz as well. So I spoke to all of them, and I wanted to thank them all for being here, for supporting us at the event too. But I wanted you to do the introductions and bring them all. You tell me, just tell the names that, give me the names and we'll bring them in whenever you want. So tell me why you wanted to come up with this panel.
So, we've used speaking in order to impact lives, and we use speaking to also grow our businesses, but in the last couple of years I think it's become even more clear that speaking and getting up onto a stage and imparting our expertise, which often comes from a place of love, is the way that we expand our consciousness. It's the way we expand our knowledge, our learning, and really impact. And we've seen in the last couple of years the way that we can impact globally while staying local through events such as this. So, to me, bringing together some of our clients who really operate their businesses from such an incredible place of love and their own experiences and what they want to do to serve and support others around the world, I just wanted to bring attention to them and give a platform within your platform to really expand the missions that they're on. So I couldn't be more thrilled with the 5 speakers that we've brought together for this panel, and really talk about how love is being grown and magnified across stages around the world.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to it. The floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Well, ladies first. This was a very, very testosterone heavy panel until Lori Marini decided to join us on this panel and able to join us. So excited that she's here. Lori defines what it means to live courageously. She supports clients with tools on how to move beyond the fear and uncertainty of a life crisis and how to create and live a life without limits. She's a master life and wellness coach, a PA tumor expert, and a breast cancer warrior. She's also the creator of the Joy program and Conversation with Courageous Cancer Warrior podcast. Lori, welcome to the stage today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Great. And next we have David Chametzky. He's a producer, author, media host, growth coach, mentor, and philanthropist. He's the producer of the coaching and mentoring curriculum to assist you to find time to soar on your path and resources for empowering personal growth and resilience programs. David is an Amazon #1 best-selling author of 2 books, Proximity to Power and the recently released Cracking the Rich Code with coaching legends Jim Britt, Shark Tank co-founder Kevin Harrington, and endorsed by Tony Robbins. David, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Danella.
Awesome. Dr. Mort Orman is an international medicine physician, a former corporate health and wellness executive, and a leading stress elimination expert with more than 40 years of experience helping business owners reduce their stress while increasing their profits and peace of mind. Dr. Orman is the creator of the ultimate stress-free life system, which enables business owners, professionals, and other success-driven individuals to eliminate stress by addressing its root causes rather than focusing all their energy on managing symptoms alone. Mort, thank you for joining us. Rich Kozak is a rocket fuel for people who want their brand to impact others and their lives. Rich is the sage voice of impact-driven branding. Today, Rich's companies, Rich Brands and Impact-Driven Publishing, guide and activate individuals and businesses who are determined to make significant impacts on other people, to make their brand uniquely come alive, and to build a strong platform for their business or personal brand, and to help them step into living their purpose. And to round out the panel today, we have Shiraz Baboo, who some of you have seen here on the platform already. He is an award-winning author, international speaker, and reality interventionist. He helps you annihilate your unconscious addiction to stories of struggle and lack, resulting in an abundance of free time, money, and energy. What a good looking and incredible panel that we have here. Thank you all for being with us.
It's a blessing.
I want to toss a question to all of you, and we'll start with Lori and just go in the order that I brought you up. This is the love event, and I know you all personally, and I know if love can have a quantity, I know you guys have big love in your businesses, and you come from such a place of wanting to impact the world because of your own experiences. So briefly share with everybody, what is that kind of kernel of love that started your business and compels you to get on the stage, and in some cases share some very personal and deeply transformational information. Lori, let's start with you.
Well, for me, it all started when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It really empowered me to really start looking at my own self-love and where I was with that. Going through something so traumatic really put it highlighted that for me. And I recognized that if I felt this way and I thought I was at a good level of loving myself and I was not behaving in that way on a daily basis, then how does anybody else do that? How do you go through something so traumatic and still maintain that joy and love for yourself? So that is what put me on a trajectory to support other people and ensuring that part of the love that we experience, that we always exude out for other people, also comes for ourselves.
And you embody that so beautifully. You've been going through quite a few changes lately, a recent move and changing around your business, and you have done so with beauty and grace. And I know that's what you bring to others as well. Dave Chametzky, the soft-spoken New Yorker who brings the bat, but it's a bat of peace. Dave, talk a little bit about how love plays into your business.
Yeah. So with love, it was really, it's easy to say I love you, or at least for me it was. I grew up in a family that loved each other, and we learned that. I didn't know the real answer, and I was assisting people for a long time. But a couple of years ago, somebody asked me the biggest question, and that's why this is so important. Do you love yourself? Lori just spoke a little bit about it. It has to start from us. It has to start from within. You can love everybody else, but if you don't love yourself, that's a real challenge. And that was a challenge I found that I needed to refocus and then really rise myself out of the ashes as I was walking along my path. And I think that's what everybody needs to do, is find that from within themselves, know their true north, and continue to walk along their path.
And you have continued to do that, working with dozens of nonprofits, bringing awareness, both those nonprofits and other causes that you support, as well as growing yourself as an individual. I've seen incredible things from you in the last year, and know there's so much more to come. And then Dr. Mort Orman, who I loved the first time we spoke, he was like, there is no stress. He's like, forget this stress management and everything else. Like, there just is no stress. What a wonderful tie in to love, because it's very difficult to be in stress and in love, or giving love at the same time. So let's get rid of the stress. Dr. Orman, talk some more about that.
Yeah, so Danella, I started out as a typical high-stress physician. When I opened my practice many years ago, I had lots of anger issues, anxiety issues, fear of public speaking. I could never do what I'm doing right now. Back then, relationship problems. And then I went through a couple of years of doing personal development work and discovered a lot of things I was never taught in medical school, and came to the conclusion that almost everything we've been taught to believe about stress isn't really true. And I used that to actually cure myself of a lot of these stress problems that I've been knocking my head against the wall, trying to solve for years unsuccessfully. So I stopped being an angry person, stopped having a lot of anxiety, got rid of my public speaking fear, turned my relationships around. My wife and I just celebrated our 38th wedding anniversary. So by getting at the root causes of stress rather than just managing the symptoms, I was able to solve all these problems. And then I started teaching other people how to do that. And so I'm retired now, I'm 74, but because I'm a physician and I understand the importance of getting rid of stress and all the consequences of poor health and poor sleep and failed relationships and just the lack of joy, I just can't sit around in my retirement years and watch Netflix and play golf every day. My love for humanity gets me to wake up every morning and ask, what can I do to change somebody's life today? And I know that if I can show them how to eliminate stress and get rid of it from their life, I'll make a huge difference in their life and also the life of their kids and the rest of their family. So to me, love is not an emotion. It's a choice that you make every day when you wake up to be loving and to contribute to other people. And that's what drives me today in my retirement years.
I absolutely love that. And it's so difficult, knowing you now, just as chill and calm, and you just have such a sage piece about you. It's so difficult to even envision you as this, stressed out doctor and not in great relationships. I mean, you just, whether it's on the stage or it's a one-on-one conversation, you just bring such a piece about you. And I agree, that's, we can express love in that place, when we're free and when we're not crushed by the stresses of the world. So such an important topic. Rich Kozak, branding, we're listening to some of our other speakers here, and we're hearing like the coaching and the transformation and the personal development, and then branding, which is typically a very, it's business. I mean, I've got to brand myself. I've got to go out there and be a brand. You have such a different take on branding, that while it might not look like you belong in this panel, just looking at a list, you still belong in this panel. Talk a little bit about what branding and love means to you.
First of all, I love you and the platform that you've created, Danella, to allow people and empower them to speak with clarity if they have clarity. So you know what I do right now. Well, let's talk about making the world a better place. There are millions of entrepreneurs who in their heart have something they clearly see they can give to other people, make the world a better place, relieve people's stresses or problems, bring a new product, but they don't know how to build a brand. They don't know how to create unique language that transfers energy. They don't know how to build those stairs. They might have been doing it for 30 years. And if that's you, if you're listening, write this down. If you don't know how to build the stairs to take it higher, to make a bigger impact, or if you have something you've created like a method or something that's personal to you, and when you give it, you can impact people's lives, there is a simple way to do it. So you ask, what was the moment? The kernel, that moment for me was when I realized I have a gift. It's not a skill. I've been given a gift. You see, for decades, I helped language and launch big brands. These days, for the last 7 years, and it's going to be a lot more years, I work with individuals to help give them from their own hearts. There's a process to give them and their brand the clarity and the consistent language that transfers energy. So when they speak, their brand can shape their impact consistently and congruently with them. Praise God. It is a gift, and I get to do it now. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, like Dr. Mort did, very brave man, but I feel like I'm 30, and I feel like I'm just getting going. Here's what happens when people realize they can use this to make their businesses more abundant and get to the impacts faster and the money faster. What they also realize is what we do gives them a platform that makes it much easier to step into why they're really here. And our businesses are not why we're here. It's just a vehicle. So what a blessing. And it's a blessing to be here with you today. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rich. Your heart just shows in everything that you do. And speaking of your heart showing in everything that you do, Shiraz Baboo, I absolutely adore listening to Shiraz speak. I love following his memes on social media. He's got that quirky sense of humor that I absolutely adore. And we both have to drink coffee in the morning. So Shiraz, you've had a little bit of time here on the Love event already, but share a little bit more with this morning's audience, like how love plays into you getting up on a stage and bringing your magic to more people.
Well, excuse me. First of all, thank you, Danella, for inviting us here. Just being in your program has made an impact on my business, and I love you for it. It's given me so many opportunities. But as far as the love in my life, it's what does love look like is something that hit me a while ago, because I realized that I thought love is taking care of people and saving people. And I started creating relationships where I'd always have to find someone I could take care of and save. And then when I finally realized what I was doing, I thought, well, what does everyone else think love looks like? And everyone has this different interpretation of love. And most of them aren't healthy. It feels like it is, but you're just running through trying to fulfill a purpose or get attention or whatever it is. And I wanted to make more people realize what they were doing with their interpretation of love. And by working with them, all this stuff comes up from childhood when you're looking around and saying, what does love look like? You look at your environment, you go, oh, this is love. And when you can get out of that and realize that you're just this conduit of love and you don't need to get it from outside sources, it can change your entire life. So one of my missions is to get that message out to me.
Oh, and you have done that beautifully. So, all of you have been through these experiences and, either through, life giving some tough love lessons or what you've sought out looking to find more love. You've stepped out onto stages around the world and you've created businesses where you can impart transformation for others. Let's share a little bit about what's next for you. Like, what are some of the experiences or results that you've seen working with people and bringing your messages to them from the stage and beyond? Lori, let's start with you again.
Oh, well, thanks. So one of the best experiences or testimonials, I should say, is I had a client who got diagnosed with cancer, and that's really the focus. I support mostly women who've been diagnosed in just really getting their life back. It is so traumatizing that they don't know how to move forward. And I had a client come to me where she was on the verge of a divorce. She wasn't getting along with her husband. They were just at odds about everything. She hated her job. She hated where she lived. And she literally came to me and was like, what's the point of living? She lost all love for herself, for her life. And after we spent some time working together, I can now happily say that she is now living on a sailboat. She created a podcast for people to support other people. They just renewed their vows. Like, she has transformed her life by recognizing that by loving yourself, giving yourself some empathy, going ahead and being compassionate with yourself and other people when you're going through something so traumatic as a life crisis. So whether it's divorce, losing your job unexpectedly, or coming up with a chronic illness like cancer, you have to show some compassion for yourself and also compassion for people who are in your life that may not recognize how to deal with what you're dealing with. They are used to having you be a certain way. And when you go through a traumatic experience like that, it changes you. And you have to really step up for yourself and love yourself enough to be able to take those courageous steps forward and learning what is it that you really want for yourself now that you've been changed. And being able to see somebody flourish in that manner, to be able to know that her life has been positively impacted by going inward, was truly something remarkable for me as a coach.
Oh, fantastic. What a beautiful story. Now, David, we could probably talk the rest of the day about impact that you've had or impact that you've seen bringing awareness and bringing love to, because you work with so many nonprofits and so many causes, but just choose one that you can shortly share about that has made a significant impact by just bringing more love to a situation.
There's so many different ways, and charity work, it brings love to both people, not only the people receiving it, but the person who's giving it. Sometimes, there's a lot of times I'll just go out and go do something really nice because I need it. And then once seeing somebody smile. Now, the example I'd love to really talk about is a softball charity that I belong to here on Long Island. And where I was going with that, we run every year. We have this charity night. We have a Rookie of the Year. We help a local family. But the one part that is also touching everybody else, it's a community that gathers together. We have 1,000 people who jump into the park. We get raffles and all that other things. Well, during that one instance, we had a young girl who tried to sing, who is able to sing and has sang before. She couldn't get there. All of a sudden, she had a panic attack. And that's where I came over to her, and her dad has come over to me since, saying how much love we were able to give. And that, what I really want to talk about is no matter what instance we're at, we're able to sit and figure out that if you could share love with somebody else, it will change somebody's life. That's where the impact really comes down to. Is love is easy words, right? We can write it easily. You can go get flowers and think that's love. Showing up being part of somebody, walking with them along their journey. That's what love is. And that's what I like to do. And I do that well with all my other people.
Fantastic. And, Mort, I think you kind of answered this question the first time that you spoke about, this is what gets you up and going in the morning. And certainly at 74, you deserve, a few rounds of golf and enjoying some Netflix. But I mean, you've actually ramped up your business because you want to get this out there, that stress is such an epidemic right now. Just an example of, beyond your example, how this has made an impact on others?
Yeah, so I love doing this work. I've been doing it for 40 years. And I love giving people results that not only they don't think is possible, but experts don't think are possible or to achieve in the time frame that I'm able to achieve it. So speaking of golf, I met a guy playing golf about a year ago, and we just played golf, and he followed me on Facebook. Earlier this year, he called me. He's married, he's retired. He and his wife just bought an RV with the idea they were going to spend their retirement years traveling around doing RV vacations. So they go out on their first trip. He's never driven the RV before. He's getting blown all over the road. He's cursing up a storm. Things are going wrong with the RV. And his wife is like right next to him. He's not directing the anger at her. But they get home, and she walks out of the RV and turns to him and says, "I'm not going on another RV trip with you again until you handle your anger issues." So next day he's on the phone talking to me and asked me if I could help him. I said, sure. Turns out he comes from a family of everybody in the family. It's just total anger all the time, have been for years. And nothing he was able to do got rid of it. I started working with him and did 10 one-hour sessions with the guy once a week. At the end of those sessions, he hardly was getting angry at all. He didn't even get angry on the golf course anymore. His wife couldn't believe the difference in him. And they've been on several RV trips since then. So I love doing that kind of stuff. I feel like I've helped him in his love relationship with his wife, so it didn't spiral downward like a lot of things can do. And that's why I enjoy doing this. That's why it's more fun for me to do this in my retirement than anything else I can think of.
Fantastic. And Rich, you also have many, many examples of how you work with somebody who has such love, but they don't know how to express that, don't know how to take that out into a stage or put into a book or put into a business. Because we haven't talked a lot about money in this panel. I do talk about money quite a bit when it talks about speaking and getting on stages and building your business, because we've got to sustain this in order to get out there into the world and keep impacting lives of others. We've got to be able to support ourselves. We've got to be able to have a business that makes sense. We've got to, whether we're bringing in money from fundraising and nonprofits or we're selling our own products and services, we have to have a business that generates money in order to keep spreading that love. So, Rich, give us an example of how you had somebody who was just filled with love, but the branding and the clarity allowed them to actually build a business around it.
That's a heck of a question. First, I'd like to say, Mort, you are a world changer, man. I love what you do. And David, what a heart. Lori, I wish I knew you better, but if I did, I would love you too. So I think of two, and very quickly. So a woman was referred to me. I was told by somebody at a dinner last night that I should talk to you. Well, who are you? Oh, I'm an attorney from Washington, immigrant from Africa. And I've left my attorney job. I moved to the West Coast, and I'm looking to go way higher with what I do. What do you like to do? Well, I was an attorney, but I'm working on the HR side. I want to build diversity inside law firms so they're more able to handle their increasingly diverse client base. Okay. So she started working with me, and we clarified the pictures that she saw of the types of individuals that she knew through her work and the way she sees the world and the way she sees the true power of natural diversity, the impacts that she could make on different people in the firms. And she was interviewing for her next great opportunity, and she called me after her 9th interview with the chairman of a worldwide law firm. And she said, oh my God, I got the job. And let me tell you, if we hadn't done that, where I just shared with him, look, this is how I see it. And I shared with him in the language he came up with. And he said, oh my God, you're the one we want. And I said, well, you're the one I want. Okay, there's one. That's an example of clarity where there was no clarity. When people can't articulate clearly who they are and what they do, when they can't say, look, this is what I see for you, in a way that touches people's hearts and have them go, oh my God, I want that. What is that? When you get there with your brand, whatever you do, it is powerful. The other one is a woman was referred to me by someone who's known me for 10 years. You know, you ought to write a book, she said to her. And I know a guy, that was the referral. HR from a retired HR person that ran a school district. She calls me and says, well, I was told I should talk to you about a book. And I listened to her story, and she had received a message from God that she was to share certain things with people. And I said, okay, you got two choices. I got a book, or your first book is a stake in the ground that moves your brand forward toward what you're supposed to be doing, what you get to be doing. Praise God. She went through all of the work. She went through Brand Accelerator Group on faith, I might add. We are right in the middle of her writing her book. She has a series of books that are going to touch people's hearts. And it is a powerful thing when she says, you know, this is not congruent with my brand. Let's do it this way. She speaks in language. She had no marketing, no branding bones in her body. People think branding is something that people slap on you and you have to become it. But when you do impact-driven branding, it comes from inside. You write the impacts you clearly see making when you thrive, and then you thrive faster. You thrive sooner, and back to your question, you get to the money sooner. Now, I don't try to equate what I do with, that's all about money, but it gets you to the impact sooner, and it gets you to the money sooner, because when you stand up to speak, because Danella Burnett, I love you, has put you on stages all around the world because we're in a virtual world, and you speak with clarity, you attract like a magnet the people that you really know you can and want to impact, and you get there faster. Does that help?
I think that helped a great deal. I don't know. Give Rich some love in the chat. If you're getting something from this panel, please give them some love in the chat. And I know that there are QR codes being shown by everybody. Some I'm getting a little bit behind the scenes that maybe a couple of the QR codes are not as visible or as clear. So they are working on that. I also know that all of the speakers throughout this 3-day experience and their QR codes are being shared. So don't have no fear. The team is working on that behind the scenes. And all of our speakers here do have amazing gifts to share with you. And that is being, if there's a QR code that's not working, it's being worked on right now. Shiraz, let's wrap up with you. Impact from the stage, an example of how you in love stepping up to serve in a bigger way has made a positive impact.
Sure. I was actually having a conversation with this woman that wasn't able to generate enough money in her business. And she'd been trying all sorts of things for years. And it finally, we found out that she loved her sister. And you're like, well, what's wrong with that? She didn't want to outshine her sister. So she was unconsciously keeping her income within a certain range of her sister's so that she wouldn't outshine, because then it's like, I don't love her if I'm overshadowing her, if I go far beyond her. And we had to unlock that and let her be as successful as possible. And when I was working with her, because a lot of times when I'm working from the stage, I'll work directly with audience members. All these other people in the audience are like, oh my God, I can't outshine my father. He works so hard through his life. Oh my God, I can't do my mom. And all these people are putting conditions. And this is the crazy thing. We talk about getting into a state of unconditional love, but it's not so much mention of that, the fact that we feel we have to put conditions on ourselves in order to love. And we don't. You can just love. And this is something I think a lot more people need to learn. Just love without condition. Go be successful without worrying about it. Just enjoy your life. And don't worry if that some people are sad while you're enjoying your life, because you being sad doesn't make them happy.
wrapped up right there. It is all about the love. And I absolutely love and adore all of you and the other speakers that we get to work with, and get out on stages and make an impact and impact lives all around us. And again, I'm seeing a little bit of feedback. They are getting the QR codes. All of our speakers here have great gifts for you. I'm just looking to see if they want us to do anything different, but they are being made available to you. And you can see all of these speakers again at our upcoming visibility event. You're going to see the visibility event ours in November, but you're also going to see it next March as part of the Best You Expert. So we're so excited to be here. Bernardo, thank you for allowing me to be here with some of our speakers and spread a little bit more love. I hope we've raised it up and contributed to the 10%.
Yes, you definitely have. Thank you so much to all of you. Very interesting panel. I felt the love, and I can feel you all have big hearts in your own way, you know, kind of, but what a great combination of people you brought here today, Danella. Thank you so much. Yes, and as far as the QR codes, there was only a couple, I think, some that didn't, or one, actually, I think was David's, but we are sharing it as well. And we will be putting it out. All the QR codes that have been shared throughout the weekend will be sent to everyone at some point. And remember that the recordings are available also, and it will be also on the Best You TV. So this will have a long time show. Thank you so much to all of you. Lots of love. Take care. Have a great day. Thank you, Shiraz. I'll see you later.
Thank you,
Danella. Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Danella, let me just give you a quick thank you separately. Thank you so much. I just wanted to kind of make sure that we point you out because you do such great work, and I wanted to make sure that if anyone that wanted to connect with you, because you've got something coming up, haven't you? You're offering a free ticket.
Yeah, our visibility event, where we highlight speakers, we talk about all the different ways that you can use speaking to grow your business or impact the world. And we have a speakers competition with usually about $40,000 worth of cash, gigs, and prizes. So if you're sitting in the audience today and you're like, I want to be up on a stage, I want to share my wisdom, I want to impact the world, I want to make more money, I want to grow my business, then you definitely want to come to the visibility event. We're going to help you do that.
Danella, thank you so much. Lots of love to you. Take care. Speak soon. Lots of love. Okay, guys, we're going to have Reid coming up very, very, very soon. Secret of Happiness. You're going to want to listen to Greg. He's just such a phenomenal speaker. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Take care. Lots of love.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara DeAngelis, Harry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Moan, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast track your career now.
Here we are again. Very exciting. We've got Greg Reid coming up. We did a very brief interview with him this morning. You're in for a treat. Such a phenomenal speaker, such a great speaker. And well, let me bring him straight in and I'll just read his bio again for those of you that are just connecting right now. Hey, Greg, how are you, man?
So good. Even I want to be me. Let's do this.
Greg Reid is known best for being the founder of Secret Knock. He is the producer of the Oscar-qualified film Wishman, based on the creator of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, streaming on Netflix now. For over 25 years, Greg has inspired millions of people to take personal responsibility to step up into their potential and their greatness. And as such, his life contribution has been recognized by government leaders, foreign princes, as well as luminaries in education, business, and industry. But as I said this morning, this doesn't make any justice. The man's written hundreds of books. He's spoken
millions of books. That's a lot of writing.
That's a lot of books. He's spoken hundreds of books, which is not bad anyway. That's like millions to me. And also he's spoken all over the world. Such a phenomenal individual. Greg, thank you for everything you bring, and thank you so much for being here today. I'm very, very grateful.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to share this new topic we've been talking about, the secret of happiness. For the last year, myself and a mastermind group have been traveling the globe, meeting the most powerful and influential people to find out what makes their hearts sing. So much so that we're working on making it into a TV reality show and pitching it to the OWN network as we speak. And the whole idea is people always say, what is the secret of happiness, right? And we've been finding different answers. And I just want to share at least a few of them before I do a little deep dive into some of the classic work that you might know me a little bit more for. But I'm going to begin with this. We found out that happiness for a lot of different people had happiness dependence attached. Now, what does that mean? Well, a lot of people sit there and say, go find your happiness. It's all within. It's all within us. We got to find our own happiness. No one can make it for you. And as true as that is, there's another side of that coin. Imagine if you're at work and you just got the biggest promotion of your life. You got the corner office. They give you a brand new BMW, a raised $200,000 and a Rolex watch. You're sitting there, you're all fired up. You drive home, you're ready to share this news with the family and the kids, and you open up the door and they're screaming, your wife's crying, and all of a sudden you go, what's going on? Well, no matter how happy you are, all of a sudden your attitude, your mindset may have shifted. And the whole idea is we have to realize that there is such thing as happiness dependence. So much so for males, they made even mantras. A happy wife is a happy what? Right? So then we started realizing and peeling this onion, as much as it's important that happiness is an inside job, there is also a little bit of dependence. And once we start having awareness of this, then we can start tweaking, adjusting, and adapting as we go. And one of my biggest discoveries, which I thought for sure, I go, man, this is it. This is the secret of happiness. And when I share it with you, you're going to go, that's it. And then I'm going to talk you out of it. Okay, it works like this. I said for sure, after the discoveries of meeting all these amazing people, that happiness is a subtractive equation and not a additional equation. Now, what does that mean? Well, most people say, well, once I bring on a new house or a car or a relationship or a kid or whatever it is, I'll find happiness. Yet we've all realized every time we hit those little monumental moments, it was fleeting. And so that an addition, adding something to, never really creates long-term happiness. It doesn't bring joy or bliss or that peace of mind that sits with you for a while. So I said, for sure, it's then a subtractive equation. When we remove shame, guilt, remorse, toxicity, then that will give us happiness. And I thought I figured it out. I go, that's it. That's the universal answer. And we figured that that's what the entire book was going to be about. Not so much. You see, I got an opportunity to go out on a date with a very amazing young woman from Mexico. And I was at this thing and I was bragging to her how happiness is a subtractive equation, not a positive one. And I could see in her face, she didn't agree. And I go, okay, I got to ask, what is it that I'm missing? And she goes, well, it's a very selfish mindset. I said, fair enough. I go, teach me. What do you mean? She goes, well, it's because you live in a first world country, so you see things from a different point of view. And I said, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, you have so much abundance that you can start subtracting it and still have your happiness. And I went, oh, that's a different mindset. She goes, let me explain. She goes, in my culture down in Mexico, she goes, my family has been saving up money and applying for visas for the last 3 generations. And I was the first person to get through the system legally and justifiably. And she goes, the first time that I bought a vehicle using American credit score, FICO, you would have thought I won the gold medal for my village. So they celebrated my victory. And when I got my first apartment, I'm telling you, it was like a fanfare. When I went down there, it was a celebration, like a ticket tape parade. And I go, really? She goes, yeah. So for them, it gave them hope. It gave them a vision of what's possible. And goes, so by us adding these simple little steps that you take for granted over here, it goes, my entire mindset and my entire family and the whole village in which I lived in, their mindset changed as well. So I thought to myself, well, maybe there is another answer. And we kept peeling the onion and peeling the onion. I'm talking about, we sat down with rapper Coolio down to movie stars, celebrities, millionaires, billionaires, monks, a big kahuna from Hawaii with spiritual leaders. We just wanted to know what the secret of happiness is. And I believe the answer is the definition in which you give it. Have you ever noticed that happiness is different to each person that you ask? So happiness to me is different than you, and it's different to the next person. So perhaps the secret of happiness is truly the definition in which you assign to it. And by the way, happiness can be a moving target. So if I woke up today, true story, I said, man, I got to get on that call on time. Well, that would make me happy. And as soon as I did, I go, all right, well, now I need a cup of coffee. Right? Well, that's going to give me joy. And when we're done with this, guess what? The football game comes on. I hope the Chargers win. Woohoo! Right? So maybe happiness is the definition in which we give it, but more importantly, it's a moving target as we go along the way. Well, as we go on this journey, the secret of happiness, it is getting more and more and more. And I look forward to the Best You Expo up in LA, because I am going to share from stage the latest, greatest discoveries, and even potentially bring a couple people that I met along the journey and share it with you live and in person. And for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Greg. I write books and make movies, and now I'm delving into a little TV. And I got to tell you, the coolest thing about this journey is having a, I don't guess, student's mindset. You know, there is no gurus over in my neighborhood. All we are is people going on a quest, and we're sharing the information as we go along the way. And when people talk about all the books that we've done and the awards that we won, it's all great. Yet, let me tell you a story behind the story. You see, when you write a book, you do something called a query letter. Basically, it says who you are, what's your message, why are you an expert, who's going to read your book. Well, when I started writing my first book, I sent it out to 8 different publishers, agents, printers, you know, literary gurus in a row. And every single week I go to the mailbox and get 8 returned envelopes. And they all said, you can't spell, you're horrible, this will never go. And you know what? I didn't take it personally. And the 269th publisher, after 268 rejections, said, we'll do your book. Just change the title, the beginning, the middle, and the end part. It was horrible. And so I got a ghostwriter who took my words and then crafted them in a way people would want to read it, and went on to become kind of a global phenomenon. And people go, yeah, it's a great story. That's a bunch of BS. It never happened. Check this out. I just pulled them out since I'm at home. Boom. These are all my rejection letters that I got. I kept them all. And why did I do that? Well, when they came in, I take a little piece of tape and I tape them to the wall, and it wallpapered my office. And every time I walked in, I didn't say these are the people rejecting me. No, I said, these are the people I already went through, so I got to keep going. Paul J. Meyer, the billionaire, told me one time, he says, your success is in direct proportion to your ability to withstand a no. That's how he said it. He says, if you're willing to ask enough ladies out, eventually you get a date for the dance. And so I just kept going, saying, well, that person rejected me. I'll just keep going until I ran out of them. And then I went back and recycled the second. The funny thing is now, as you can imagine, the people publish us sight unseen now because we had some success. But you can't get credit without credit. Can't get experience without experience, but you got to get started. Like Les Brown says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. This is the book that came from it. It's called The Millionaire Mentor. I believe that's what we're giving away in the QR code. So everyone can get a copy, or you can just go to gregreid.com and download it right there directly as well. And what's cool about this is one quote from this book was shared 37 million times. I'm going to say it again. One quote from this book that was turned down 268 times was shared 37 million times. By the way, you've already seen this quote. It's on every bumper sticker, t-shirt, coffee mug. You just didn't know it's my quote. It says, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal broken into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. You've heard of it. Came right here. Boom. That's a little quote, right? It came all from there, from The Millionaire Mentor, a book that was turned down that many times. Why do I share that? Never let another person or yourself talk you out of what you know to be true. You see, I didn't hope or wish or believe that I'd be a best-selling author. I knew I would. I just didn't know how. You see the difference? And I figured what I'll do is surround myself with positive, like-minded people, people I have respect for, not people I had influence over, and ask them exactly the process. And by doing that, went on to write amazing projects with amazing people. For example, boom, you might have heard of this one, 3 Feet from Gold, Sharon Lecter. And I had an opportunity to work with the Napoleon Hill Foundation and go around the globe and interview the most powerful, influential people to find out why they didn't quit 3 Feet from Gold. Now, the story behind this is a story about a gold miner named R.U. Darby. He goes out west, starts digging, finds a couple nuggets. He gets excited thinking he's going to be rich, so he hides it and buries it. Goes home, tells his family and friends. They chip in money to buy equipment to pull the gold out, buy a big old gigantic wheelbarrow. Well, sure enough, the first cart comes out and it's filled with gold. Woo! Starts dancing, right? He's going to be rich. But then the gold ran out. Kept digging, but there was no more gold. Defeated, he walks out of the mine and says, I quit, and sees a junk man walking by. Says, hey, buddy. He goes, come over here. He goes, give me $200. I'll say this, mine, the deed, the equipment. I can't find any more gold. I quit. I'm going to go back home to something I know. Well, the junk man surveying the equipment was worth like 10 grand because all the family chipped in, said, here's $200. You got yourself a deal. Darby goes home defeated, but the junk man goes to an engineer and says, what happened? This guy had gold and ran out. And the engineer starts laughing. He says, that's mining 101. Everyone knows that gold runs in a straight line. It's called a gold vein. He says, Darby came in one side, hit gold, and popped back into dirt. He says, go back to where they discovered treasure. Go 3 feet, 90 degrees the opposite direction. You'll tap back into the vein. Not only did the junk man pull millions upon millions of dollars out, but that's still what fills Fort Knox today. Think about it. Never let another person or yourself talk you out of what you know to be true. It was interesting when we did 3 Feet from Gold. We sat down with the founders of some of the greatest iconic things you can imagine. And I invited about 350 people to go with me on that journey. Guess what? No one ever showed up. Not one. Everyone had something called a bad case of the one size. That means I'm going to take action. Once I get the big break. Once I get the kids out of the house. Once I get the, right? And the best time to take action is the moment it strikes you. Stop having a bad case of the one size. Get off your big butt and do something. By the way, I don't mean the one you're sitting on, but people say, I'd go do that too. But, right? And it's that but is lingering, and that's what seems to hold us back. Now, lately, I did a new one. It's called Wealth Made Easy. This is kind of a cool little book. And by the way, Bernardo, I'll send you a few of these copies if you want to give them out and to whoever you want to give them to, and we can share them with the viewers and whatnot, however you want to do it. But anyway, in that book, I interviewed amazing people like Tonino Lamborghini, say, how does the Lamborghini system work? I got to sit down with the founder of Remax. I got to sit down with all these amazing people. But the biggest aha takeaway came from Mark Anthony Bates. And he taught me something called CPC. CPC. It stands for Clues, Patterns, Choices. C, clues, P, patterns, C, choices. It's about accountability and responsibility. Every single thing that happens, it's your fault. Stop blaming other people. It's like me. Like I said, I'm a single guy. So let's say I go out on a first date. The woman happens to be 20 minutes late. Now, look, anything could happen, but there's a little red flag. That's a clue. Well, if I like her and I continue to date her, And every time she's 20 minutes late, that forms a P, which stands for pattern. Now it's my C, my choice, whether I deal with it, I yell at her, I break up, or I just tell her a different time so she shows up. But it's not her fault. She's just late. Stop trying to change people to fit into our own paradigm box. Newsflash, nobody wants to be changed. But we'll see someone with a bad reputation in business. They cheat your best friend. We do business. Things go wrong. We're mad at the person. We saw the clue. We saw the pattern. We made the choice. It'd be like seeing a rattlesnake rattle, bite your kid's sister. You go to pet it, get bit, and you're mad at the snake. Looking back at life, rarely will we be angry at relationships that fell through or negotiations that didn't go good. We're just mad at ourselves because we stayed in too long. We saw the clues, we saw the patterns, but we made our choices late. Accountability and responsibility is the key of the game. Now, recently, Bob Proctor, one of my favorite people in the world, passed away, as we know. Fortunately, though, we had a chance to do a book together called Think and Grow Rich, Thoughts Are Things, where our thoughts become realities. And we thought for sure it's going to be a manifesting type of book where you think it and all of a sudden it shows up at your doorstep. But we didn't find that to be our truth because we realized that thoughts are not things. If thoughts were things, I'd probably be a bagel right now. I'm kind of hungry. It's early in California, right? But when we're done with this and I go on Grubhub and order a bagel, my thoughts become reality by the what? The actions in which we take, because it is the action in the law of attraction that makes our dreams a reality. You got to think it, feel it, but ultimately we got to get up our backside. We got to take action and we got to do it. And the way we do that the best is surrounding ourselves with people, again, that we have respect for, not those we have influence over. Seek counsel and not opinion. What's the difference? Counsel is based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship. People have paved the way. You know, opinion is based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, inexperience, like your family friends at a barbecue, they've never done it. If I go to my family friends and say, I'm going to write a best-selling book, they're going to talk me out of it to protect me because they know I'm dyslexic and can't spell. Plus, they've never written a best-selling book. But if I go to Jack Canfield or Mark Victor Hansen who wrote Chicken Soup, they're going to say, dude, sit down. Here's what you need to know and give you counsel based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship. If we would spend our activity only seeking counsel and ignoring people's opinion, that's the day, that's the moment our lives would change. So the big question is, how do we seek this counsel? How do we surround ourselves with people that are doing? I'm going to give you the answer right now. The Best You Expo. That's it. Bernardo's putting it together. He is bringing the most powerful, like-minded people together in one place, in one opportunity, to separate yourself from the 95% who just dream of success, to come join the top 5% who make it come to life. The Best You Expo. I got to tell you, I'm so fired up to be part of it because he's such an amazing leader and he brings the most amazing people together so that we can learn, grow, inspire, and then act. Because again, it's the action part. Just recently did a little book. It's called Be Kind to Your Future Self. I've been working on this one because I'm going to say it again. Be kind to your future self. What incremental step could we do today? Because people say when it comes to action, it's got to be these big, gigantic, swing for the fences moments. It really doesn't. It's small incremental things. Look, if you want a shoebox full of money for cash, let's say for Christmas presents, well, here's what we do today. Go get a shoebox, open it up, reach into your pocket, whatever cash you have, throw it in the box. Guess what? Tomorrow, when you go to work and someone sits there and says, hey, let me buy lunch today. I'll say, I was planning on paying for it. How much was it? And they go, $15. Go, great. $15 I was going to spend anyway. Where does it go? Into the box. And after a while, you'll see it start saving up. You go to check out the grocery store and they say, hey, where's your frequent card? And they give it to you and they go, hey, you saved $13. Where does that go? Into the box. You're going to spend it anyway. And come the holidays, you open up that box. What is it? Full of cash. It's that incremental step. Look, if you want a beautiful beach body for summer, put down the cheeseburger today. Be kind to your future self. It is incremental steps. It's that compounding that separates ourselves. All right. Sharon, Lecter, and I, again, this is one of my favorite little things here. It's called Success and Something Greater. And the reason I shared this book is because when Napoleon Hill passed away, this was the last book he was supposed to write. He never got a chance to do it because he died. So they gave it to Sharon and I. It's got unpublished work from Napoleon Hill. And what we did is we talked to amazing people to find out, yeah, success is great, but what's even greater? And it kept coming down to that secret of happiness. And in fact, Napoleon Hill himself said, if I could turn back time, I'd probably reconsider a lot of the things I wrote, because happiness and joy didn't come from the riches. It came from that peace of mind. He said the richest people in the world are those that can go to sleep in harmony and peace and wake up knowing that they're making the world a brighter place. So again, that's why I love the Love event. That's why I love Best You Expo. It's doing something, not talking about it. And this one out right now on bookshelves everywhere. It's called Passport to Success. Jim Stovall wrote The Ultimate Gift. He's my all-time hero, living legend. And I got to tell you, we're excited because we're working on making it into a movie. There's all these different books and things, but I did want to share these final thoughts. When we're doing Success in Something Greater, I got to meet a gentleman named Jack. And we're sitting there in his house, in Sharon's house, and I kept saying, what is the one thing you did different than other people? And he says, well, my claim to fame is I invented something called a sit-down jet ski. And I said, holy smokes. I go, you must be pretty excited. I go, you're a billionaire guy. He goes, no, I sold the patent for 75 grand. I go, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, I sold the patent. Every time I drive down the freeway, I see when I'm getting pulled behind a truck, I get excited because that's my invention. I go, don't you know it's $1 billion brand? He goes, yeah, I'm really proud of that. And he turned away. I said, excuse me. I go, yeah, that's good. Didn't that eat you alive? He says, no. He said, at that moment when I got that $75,000 check, it was all the money in the world to me. He says, we're about to lose the family home that's been in my family name for generations. He goes, I got the mortgage caught up. He goes, it was amazing. He goes, my employee's been working. I kept promising I'd pay him. Finally, I got to do so. And he said, I had something called peace of mind, like Napoleon Hill talked about. He goes, I had something called free time. I went upstairs in the attic. I started digging around, and guess what? I found these little metal die-cast cars. He goes, a buddy of mine's in NASCAR, so I painted his number on the side, and I gifted it to him. Well, he loved it, and he started showing it to the other drivers. Well, they wanted one too. So he goes, I started doing it for all the different drivers around. Eventually, NASCAR came to me and just bought the rights for $151 million. He says, sometimes as an entrepreneur, we need to do a deal in order to get us through to do another deal. All right. So in closing up, look, I don't know everyone on this call, but I do know this about you. Chances are everyone comes to you for counsel, for great advice. They think you got it together. You know why? Because you're a leader. But it is time right now to start getting selfish, because you've been taking care of your family, your friends, your peers, your coworkers. But now it's time to start taking care of us. The greatest way to become the greatest form of ourselves is to become the greatest form of ourselves. Like Les Brown says, fill our own cup first, and then we can feed the world with what flows over, right? Feed our own cup first so we can feed the world with what flows over. It's such a great little statement. Well, the big question is, what can we do for ourselves to be kind to our future self? But more importantly, draw an imaginary line in the sand and step across and say, it's my turn. I love you, family. I love you, friends. I've been taking good care of you. I'm gonna start taking care of me. I got that idea for a book or a movie, entrepreneurial dream. I'm not gonna take it to my grave. We draw that line in the sand and step across and say, it is my turn. Know this, you do have greatness inside of you. It's time for you to shine it and bring it to the world. Because what's common sense to you is pure genius to someone else, and they're waiting to hear what you got to say. So draw that line. You step across and say, it's my turn. And when someone wants to talk you out of your dream, you shun them away and you seek that counsel, not opinion, and say, nope, it is my turn. You draw that line in the sand and say, it is my turn. And when you want to say, I can't go another step further, I've had enough, I want to give up, that's when you kick it in the most. You too have got something so special, so grand, the world wants to hear what's on your mind. Never give up. And never surrender, because you too, just like Darby, could be 3 feet from gold. Thanks, Bernardo.
Wow, man. Wow. Seriously, Greg, such a pro, man, such a pro, such a great speaker. And you just keep bringing these books up. They're all amazing.
And by the way, tell me where to ship them. And every copy I showed, I'll autograph and send to one of your viewers if you like.
Brilliant. Well, we're sharing the QR code again for the Millionaire Mentor. We put it out there as well previously. So anyone that wants to get their phone out and get their free copy, take Greg up on the offer. We've also shared the link for the Secret Knock. But Greg, you're a true inspiration, man. I say this, but such a great speaker as well. And you say it as it is, and it's time for step up and put a line in the sand for everyone. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Lots of love.
I will see you soon, amigo. Bye.
Take care. Lots of love. Wow, how amazing is Greg Reid? Thank you. Big round of applause for him, everyone from home. Man's an absolute legend. Well, look, we've got Shiraz Baboo coming up very shortly. What we're going to do at the moment is just simply share a very quick message. It's only going to be a minute, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
The best you is leading the way in the industry of personal and professional growth. Through our magazine, expos, e-learning, TV, club, and awards, the best you's objective is to help people achieve their dreams, to do more, to be more, to live a life without limits. Join us if you believe in helping and inspiring others, in changing the world, in making it a more just and fair place through education and inspiration. Our goal: everyone, everywhere, now. If you are interested in making a difference, working, partnering, volunteering, supporting, or even licensing the best you, let's talk. Let's work together and make the world a better place.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors, and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Harry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Moan, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Thank you, Greg. And let me bring David Fagan on. I want him to introduce our next guest, Mr. David Fagan. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
It's all good, man. It's all good. Looking good. Greg, how great is Greg Reid?
He's the best. He's the best. I was listening to him telling Isabel about his story and when I first met him, and he's legit. He's the real deal.
He's the real deal, man, and he's got all those books. He just keeps popping them up. You know, I think he's got even more books than you, David.
Yeah. He's got more books than me. Greg Reid's somebody that I think speakers should really pattern their business off. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I want to jump into the market. I want to write a book. I want to be a speaker," I would say the Greg Reid blueprint. I mean, over the last 10 to 15 years, I mean, he's really created a blueprint that wouldn't be easy to follow, but as easy as it could be, to get to the top of the game. I mean, he's created a blueprint. I mean, he's living it.
He is, and he's what I love about him as well. Well, it's not only the quality of the books and obviously who he's co-authored with, but also kind of like how he's taken, the document, the film, Make-A-Wish Foundation. So he took that step. It was a big step because he'd never produced a film, and now he is. There he is. Now he's producing films, documentaries, all sorts of great things. Now I'm a big admirer of we both are. David, we haven't had a chance to talk and I want to give you a couple of minutes. What's up for you? What's happening next in David Fagan world? What's coming up?
Well, there's some great opportunities for everybody listening. I mean, next month, Mo Rock, the Los Angeles Tribune, is the Neuroscience Summit. Everybody is really looking to the brain, and the neuroscience, the science of marketing, the science of selling, the science of relationships, right? The science of calm. Neuroscience is a big deal. We've got Mark Waldman, kind of the Oprah's neuroscience scientist coming in. Jim Poole of Newcom. I know, Bernardo, we're going to have you there. But if you guys go to nsciencesummit.com, you'll be able to be part of that. It'll be ran a lot like this. That's in October. In November, we're going to have our top talent JV mastermind. So all you speakers, authors, everybody that comes on that gets a chance to speak. We put people in different breakout groups. That's toptalentjv.com. That's in November. Also in November, Bernardo, we're taking a group to Kenya. So Jim Poole of Newcom and Moss Sajady, and we just had several clients featured in USA Today. And that turned into taking them to speak at several universities. We're going to do a big service project. Jennifer Mahoney, Frank Song, just a really powerful group of people. We still have a few openings. Obviously, we can't go, take down a whole university for a couple of days. So we can only have so many speakers there, but we've already got it all approved with some major keynotes. We've got the Kenya keynote. So that's top talent or toptagency.com/Kenya. We'll put all this stuff in the boxes and stuff. But in December, we've got PubCon, our winter publicity and publishing conference. At the end of December, we're doing a big celebration and memorial for Ryan Long. I know you guys have been hearing about it. I've been honored to be one of the keynote speakers there for New Year's Eve. It's a big gala and dress up. January, we've got the Marketers Cruise. February, we've got an event. March, there's just so many things going on. Thank you for putting up a way to schedule time with me. You can go to davidtfagan.com. You can schedule time with me. But if you opt in there, kind of get our free gift, the Word Genius book or Becoming Significant, you'll get in our group, you'll get in our list, and then you'll get these kinds of reminders. And Bernardo, I think our intention is, with the people who like the Love event, to kind of follow up with them maybe about getting involved in Kenya or getting together at the Top Talent JV event so you can share your message, or, maybe you want to be a part of, celebrating the Global Unity Foundation, which is, Ryan Long's legacy. So we'll be sharing all of those, but it seems like every month leading up to your event in March of 2023, there's going to be opportunities to bring together heart-centered, socially conscious, not socialist, but socially conscious. I had somebody say that to me the other day. David, why are you promoting socialism? Hey, I'm not, this isn't a political message. I'm just saying socially conscious. You want to give back, we'll share those messages with you.
I was saying, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Give it back. There's nothing wrong with giving back. No, David, well, listen, thank you. And that's part of the message here. I think that this is just, it's not that it's the beginning, because we've been doing this for a long time, but I'm saying is we're going to continue to bring these conversations, and a lot of the people that are involved, if not everyone that's involved, is very aligned with the same message of, getting our message out there, helping, contributing, sharing love, talking about love, and obviously, finding ways where, hey, if we're successful, we can help others as well in the process. So,
Well, I would even transform this just really quickly into an opportunity thing. You just heard Greg talk. Hopefully you're connecting the dots between what Greg is asking you to step up and do and the opportunities that are there. These are opportunities to speak. These are opportunities to join. These are opportunities to support. And beyond the events, Bernardo, you have an amazing platform to get your shows out. And we're really looking for those, flagship shows that we can give special attention to because of the degree of professionalism and how well produced they are and the level of guests that they have. So, you might already have a podcast and you want to go next level show. You might already have a show and you're looking for greater distribution. There's a lot of reasons to, get on the phone with me or Bernardo or our executive teams and, just ask the question, what next? What can I do? How do I get involved? How do I leverage these platforms?
Absolutely. And that's the thing is not only the people that are attending that are connecting with the speakers and the panelists, it's the opportunities between us, amongst us. As you pointed out, hey, I've got a TV channel. We've all got podcasts. You might want to interview me. I want to interview you. My podcast. It's that collaboration, that partnership. Yeah. And we're all bringing that to you.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, David. Well, listen, thank you so much. I know you're going to be introducing Shiraz, so I'll leave it to you. And thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've seen Shiraz on a couple times. I've seen him on with. I saw you on yesterday, Shiraz. I saw you on this morning with Danella. She gave you, an amazing introduction as well. I've got your bio here in front of me. I'm going to hit, some of the highlights because, later on people will still be recording this. So even if I kind of know, maybe you're new to everybody else, But Shiraz is an expert with entrepreneurs and coaches. He's an award-winning author, international speaker. He helps people rewrite their business stories and, kind of give them that reality. I love how you say this too. It's like this reality intervention. He's a reality interventionist, right? Because what is the story you're telling yourself, right? And what's the impact that's having, both good and bad? Well, Shiraz knows how to diagnose that. He knows how to oversee that. He knows how to better that. He knows how to reframe that. I'm using a little bit of my own words here, aren't I, Shiraz?
That's all good.
How am I doing? Is this all fair?
This is great. Yeah.
So Shiraz helps you annihilate your unconscious addiction to these stories while learning to maintain a calm confidence no matter what's going on. And Shiraz, I'll kind of use this to transition to you and you'll take it away. But calm really is a superpower nowadays, right? Like the ability to be calm. It's probably one of the most underrated talents and abilities that's out there, and probably the greatest key to emotional intelligence. And I'll let you take it away with that.
It is actually, and my free gift is actually trains you to get to that calm confidence no matter what's going on. So we're going to get to that later. I want to lodge a formal complaint that I have to follow Greg. I mean, that was incredibly good.
No, you only have to follow me. You're only following me and Bernardo. That's all. That's it.
Okay.
So, this is easy. You're just following us. Not following
no, I got so much out of that talk. I was so happy to be here for that.
Here's the other way to position that. Since you're a framing expert,
mm-hmm.
Greg was your opening act.
Hey, I love that.
I'll tell you. And I'm sure Greg, he's a very humble guy. He'll have no problems with it. Just go out and tell the world, Greg Reid today was my opening act. And
okay.
There you go. That's a great way to start your day.
All right. Thank you. So, hi. I'm hoping to try to make this a little more interactive. And if you can throw it in the chat or just in your head, think about this. Would you love it if people just accepted you exactly as you are with all your talents and your faults? And would you love it if you could love and accept yourself even when you really, really screw up? And would it be wonderful if you could create a life of emotional and physical wealth easily and powerfully? I think so. So imagine that happened. Imagine loving, supportive people just gravitating to you because of who you are. Imagine opportunities showing up more frequently and in bigger ways. And imagine unleashing success potential that's beyond what you thought was possible. Now, if I could show you techniques to get that kind of result, would you be interested in that? So, hi, this is The Problem is the Solution. And I'm Shiraz. It means one who is sweet. Now, by the time I was 17, my parents realized they should have named me Sahir, which means one who is sarcastic, but that ship had sailed. So I'm here to show you how that big problem that's in your life right now is actually the solution to something you're not even looking at, and how a single belief can change your entire reality. You see, I believe that everyone wants to feel like they can just be their true, authentic self. But I believe that we've been programmed by our parents, unknowingly, by society, that we're not allowed to do that, that we have to hide ourselves because we're going to get criticized, we're going to get judged, we may get ostracized. But I also believe that when you realize it's not only possible to really just step into that true, authentic self, but it's imperative, then you can create anything you want in your life, every desire. So before I get started, I'd really like to thank Bernardo for putting on the Love event. The speakers are eclectic and powerful. There's something for everyone. And I've collected a bunch of QR codes already. I hope you have too. And he's really created something amazing here. And I hope we get more of these. I'd also like to thank you, because some people will see the Love event and think, I know what love is, and just let it go. But not you. You're here because you want to find out more. You want to learn other perspectives. You want to get new insights. And I really admire and appreciate people with that kind of curiosity and desire for growth. So my life today has been pretty good. I've written 2 award-winning books. One is right here, How to Rewrite Reality. A lot of glare. And the other is actually adult fantasy. No, young adult fantasy. There's a big difference between adult fantasy and young adult fantasy. And the young adult fantasy is called Defenders of the Scroll, and it's won a bunch of awards too. I've got an award for designing interactive movies, and I've actually written a short for Paramount called G.I. Joe Invasion of Cobra Island, which is available on YouTube. We did it for the first G.I. Joe movie. It was a lot of fun to make. So things have gone really well in my life, but the road to getting here has been painful. And I mean that literally. You see, when I was 22 years old, I was in university. I was studying to be a doctor, and I was a bodybuilder. And I know it's hard to tell I've stopped, but I have. You see, the world was my oyster, but the world didn't give me pearls. It gave me arthritis. Within months, I was in intense pain in every joint of my body, from the top of my head to my feet. Speaking of my feet, there would be days where I could feel my ankles and shins grinding bone on bone because the cartilage had worn away. And there'd be nights where I sipped my dinner through a straw because my jaw was so swollen and painful. And you may not have gone through this kind of physical hardship, but have you been in a situation where you had that plan laid out for your life, and then out of nowhere, bam, that plan is gone, and you're left scrambling? You know the feelings that come with it, the frustration and anger, the anxiety, the despair, the self-judgment, the self-pity. You start asking questions. What did I do to deserve this? Why is this happening to me? What am I supposed to do now? And I tried to get out of it. I tried medication, and don't get me started on those childproof caps for arthritis. That's just a bad idea. I tried diet, supplements, yoga, acupuncture, someone suggested magnets, anything I could, and nothing worked. And it wasn't until 20 painful years later that I met the man that would change my view on how reality worked. I traveled to India. And because it was India, I expected him to be doing some sort of Reiki. Okay, Shiraz, we're going to heal you. We're going to heal you. But that's not what he did. He just sat me down and talked to me for 2 weeks, discovering everything about my life. It was like being with a psychiatrist, only he wasn't trying to solve anything. He was just gathering information. And at the end of the 2 weeks, he says, Shiraz, you believe you're responsible for everyone in your life. No, I don't. Oh, I know you don't think you do, but from everything you've told me, you've created this belief that you need to be responsible for everyone, and it started when you were 8 years old. Okay, I don't think I'm that responsible, but even if I am, what's this got to do with arthritis? Oh, you don't want to be responsible for everyone. Yeah. And if you're lying in bed in pain, you don't have to be responsible for anyone, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. If people see you're struggling just to get through your day, they won't ask you to take care of them. It's the solution to a problem you don't realize you have. Well, that's messed up. But that's what many chronic illnesses are, solutions to problems people don't realize they have. Okay, so if what you're saying is true, then all I have to do is say I'm not going to be responsible for anyone but me, and the arthritis should just go away. Yes, if you believe it deep down. So I gathered my will, and I stood there and I went, okay, I'm not going to be responsible for anyone but me. And you know what happened in that moment? Nothing. But the next day, I woke up with no pain, no inflammation, more mobility. I could even breathe better. So I'm freaking out because you don't lose almost 20 years of illness overnight. It just doesn't happen. And yet it did. And I'm checking my body. Now, the damage from the arthritis was still there, and I'm still working to repair that. Still got restricted movement. But this was actually solid at the time. And this is one thing I want you to learn. Sometimes it's a miracle. Sometimes it's a journey. And if you're not willing to have the journey, you don't tend to get the miracles. So here I am, suddenly all this motion. And there was a track where we stayed. And every day I was out on that track because I'm trying to stay fit. And I'm doing my little old man shuffle. And, you know, what I think a 60-year-old looks like at that age. But the thing is, I'm getting passed by 60, 70-year-olds on the track, and it's just embarrassing. But here I go. But not today. Today I'm out. I'm moving. I'm dodging. I'm passing everyone. They're looking at me going, what the hell? And I'm like, I know, right? And when I got home, No one asked me to take care of them. I mean, why would they? That was a belief created by an 8-year-old. But see, it gets better because this isn't just about illness. This is about everything. Your mind prioritizes getting you out of emotional distress than physical circumstances. So it would rather have me in arthritis than feeling guilty. And the biggest things it looks to avoid are guilt, shame, and heartbreak. So when I applied this to other areas of my life, everything started to change. I got my heart broken when I was 19 years old. And since then, I hadn't been able to maintain a long-term relationship. I just really couldn't connect with people. But I found out I was trying not to connect with people so I wouldn't have heartbreak again. And I let that fear of heartbreak go. My relationships just changed, not just romantic, but physical. Like physical, friendship, everything. They got deeper and more powerful. And it works for money too. I've had clients that they say they want to make a lot of money. And we start exploring that. And the one thing that comes up that seems very common, if I have a lot of money, people are going to come up and say, hey, can I have some? You've got so much and I have so little. You need to give it to me. You need to take care of the family now that you're so rich. And there's that avoidance of guilt, avoidance of shame if you can't help people or don't want to help people. And so your brain says, well, you know what? If we don't have the money, we don't have to worry about that problem. So I'll make sure the income doesn't go past this level, whatever that level is for you. This is how it works. And when you get this, when you get that most of what you're doing unconsciously is trying to avoid the possibility, not even the certainty, the possibility, guilt, shame, heartbreak, and some other lower frequency emotions, you can start to explore what those are, what you're trying to avoid, and then get out of it. Number 2, your interpretation of love. So when I found with people when they're growing up, they look for what love is and then make a decision that, oh, this is what love looks like. This is what I have to do. And this is how love functions. But different people in the same environment can have different interpretations of love. And this isn't just about love. This is about any situation that you can go through. But we're at the love event, so we're talking about love. I had clients come to me, and it was 2 sisters and a brother. And the one sister made the appointment. She said, we've all got these issues. We heard what you can do. Can we spend an afternoon with you? I said, sure. I said, we're going to do a group session. We could probably do a group session in like an hour. She goes, no, we need the whole afternoon because we've all got different issues. Fine. So I worked with the first one. And her problem was she was always fighting in her marriage. And as we looked into that, we found out her parents fought all the time. So when she was growing up, she said, oh, this is what love looks like. It's fighting. So she kept fighting in her marriage. Now, consciously, she hated it. She hated fighting all the time. But unconsciously, her mind was saying, hey, we're getting love. This is cool. Let's just keep doing this. So when I made her aware of what was going on, she didn't have to fight with her husband anymore. Number 2, wasn't getting relationships. They were always short-lived. And it turns out that her parents were always fighting. And she said, oh, if I get into a relationship, I'm going to have to fight. I hate fighting. So her unconscious made sure she didn't get into relationships. Consciously, she's like, why don't I maintain a relationship? Why is it so hard to find a date? Unconsciously, this is great. We don't have to fight. That was her interpretation. Now, the brother was an interesting case because he kept having fainting spells. And it turns out that when he was young, his parents used to fight. And sometimes he was stuck in the room with them and he wanted to get out, but didn't know how. So he just got out. And he learned to use that in any situation where he thought he might have to go through that stress of not being able to get out of a situation. And when he realized what he was doing, the fainting spell stopped. From what I've heard, he's never fainted again. It's our interpretation of the situation that creates it. So that's number 2. Number 3, your addiction to your current reality. This is why I call myself a reality interventionist. So you are actually physically and mentally addicted to your current circumstances. And if you've ever read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about how we have different emotions through the day. Everyone has a bunch of emotions, but we have a default emotion. And what happens is your cells actually create receptors to receive the chemicals associated with that default emotion. Every emotion has different chemicals associated with it. So if you're frustrated most of the time, then you have receptors for frustration. And when you decide, you know what, no, I don't want to be frustrated all the time, I want to be loving, then you try to be loving, and then your cells are like, well, where's the chemicals for frustration? We need them. They send a signal up to your brain, say, make this person frustrated. You start getting frustrated over something small or something happens, you interpret as this is reason to be frustrated, and you lose it again. And you're like, what the hell? But your cells are like, oh, thank God, we needed that. So when you want to change an emotional state, you have to overcome the withdrawal. And most people don't know that that's what's going on. You think it's just circumstances causing you to end up back where you started. Right? But it's also a mental addiction, because when a story plays out for you, like my partner always cheats on me, or every time I try to get this far, I end up back where I started, then you get to be right. And it's amazing, because I found so many people that would rather be right than be rich, than be successful, have loving relationships, be healthy, right? And so what if being wrong was beneficial to you? Now, you don't have to be wrong all the time, but I never thought I'd find the love of my life. Oh, I was wrong. I didn't think I'd make an extra $1 million this year. Ooh, I guess I was wrong. Would being wrong be such a horrible thing? So I'm inviting you to be wrong. Now, here's the thing with addiction, though. Picture a Jenga tower. And if you've never played Jenga, it's like a few blocks crossed with a few blocks, crossed with a few blocks, crossed with a few blocks, and it builds up, and there's this tower. When you're shifting your beliefs and getting yourself out of these situations mentally, each Jenga tower is a belief system, a story about what happens in your life. They're made up of multiple beliefs, multiple sets of proof, because it's happened here, it's happened here, it's happened here. Every one of those is a block. You start pulling out those blocks as you start to work on the problem. And when you pull out enough blocks, things change. But if you don't pull enough to cause the tower to fall, then you'll start putting blocks back in if you don't keep working on it. And you may have experienced this. Have you ever gone through a course or gone to a big retreat that changed everything for you for a little while? And then eventually you ended up back where you started. That's because you didn't pull out enough blocks to cause the tower to fall. And it can get a little more insidious, because sometimes some towers are supporting other towers. So you bring up enough that would make this tower fall on its own, but these are keeping it up. So you got to pull blocks out of these towers. So that's why you have to be prepared for the journey. Because sometimes, like me, when I was in India, I got just the right block and there was just the one tower and everything changed and I was out of the addiction. But for other things in my life, for other things in many people's lives, it's block after block and continuous work. Now, the cool thing is you can learn to get to a place of focus, concentration, and manifestation by learning how to focus. And that's why I've created a bunch of focusing audios for you. These are things I was taught in India, and it's something I do every day that I wasn't teaching for years, because it just was, for me, it was like brushing my teeth in the morning. But now I realized how powerful this is. And I've set these audios up so you can sit down and either 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or 12 minutes, just get into a nice meditative state if you want, or you can do it while you're out for a walk or doing the dishes or even eating. Because learning to focus and stay present doesn't require you having to sit in one spot. So you can do this throughout the day. You can do it before you do a presentation on an event. It can take 2 minutes to get you centered and focused. And here's the thing. You need to hold a thought for about 30 seconds to change the neurons and create new manifestation. And most people can do it for about less than 7. So this is a matter of brain training. This is like going to a gym. You can't go to the gym once a month and expect great results. But if you have consistent work every day, you will get that better body. And this is about changing the neurons in your brain. So that is what's being offered to me. And this is something I think everyone needs to do. And again, it doesn't take long. If you're trying to hold the thought for 30 seconds, 2 minutes is more than 30 seconds. Use the exercises, get there. But again, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And when you combine building these mental muscles to get you stronger and stronger and stronger, while weakening your success barriers to get them weaker and weaker, then when you want to burst through a success barrier, it becomes that much easier. So I'd like for you to create whatever life you want. I'd like for you to have the tools to do it. And I can't shift your beliefs on this call because we don't have time, but I can give you the other half, which is building the muscles. Once you get the download, you can find ways to get in touch with me so I can show you exactly what belief shifting looks like. Just like my mentor did for 2 weeks, found out what that belief is. I found out a way to get it down to as little as 5 minutes to shift the belief. But remember, that's a block, and we need to keep working on those blocks. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a lot out of this presentation, and enjoy the rest of the Love event. I know I'm going to be looking for more QR codes to download myself, because this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Bernardo.
No, Shiraz, thank you. Thank you. You've got a beautiful voice and very, I mean, I can only imagine. I haven't downloaded your audios. Yeah, I love a meditation. So thank you for being so generous. Thank you for being here. And everyone speaks very highly of you. So I can't wait for us to work together more, connect more. I know you're going to be involved in the Best You Expo as well.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're very excited to see where that goes. I've got a couple of minutes here for you. So what has been the highlight for you? Because you shared something, I think, before where you thanked me, and I thank you for thanking me, but just kind of the idea of putting the Love event together. And we really tried to emphasize from the beginning, bringing people together and real conversations around kindness, caring, and consciousness. I got to say, I think I shared this yesterday, we have over 3,000, 4,000 people pre-registered or registered to attend the event. And obviously, those numbers don't necessarily happen online events as far as people showing up because they want to watch recordings, because people have lives. I get that. And that's why we're making it accessible. Why do you think it is so important to bring these conversations to the forefront?
Because most people don't know what they don't know. They don't think to look at it. And when you come to an event like this, a lot of times you have in mind, this is what I want to learn. And you learn so much more. And people just need to realize that these events are important. They can be life-changing. Just with my Jenga block tower, I know there are some people that attended now that had that bottom block and a tower fell because one of the talks in this event changed their lives. That happens in every single event. So that's why this is incredibly important.
Yeah, thank you. I think one of the things that I've learned over years is that everything, I think I'm a great believer in serendipity, and everything happens for a reason, and things are happening for you, not to you. But also, most importantly, is to connect the dots. What I mean by that is that because nothing happens by chance, we've met through Danella. Yes. And I met David through Danella. So everything is connected. So that's what I'm talking about, connecting the dots. I don't know. There's obviously people here maybe before that had heard of me, but never heard of you. So now they're connecting with you, or had never heard Greg speak, and Greg maybe has inspired them with something. So I think people miss the point and why things come to you. And one of the things I point out a lot of the times is that the universe, God, the higher spirit, whatever it is, they don't use WhatsApp or Instagram. They communicate to you via messages that come to you for a reason. Yes. And a lot of the times I also say that opportunities like this, us putting this event together, bringing all these people, sometimes are the sizes of petrol tankers. Okay, so this has been an opportunity which is like the size of a petrol tanker to be able to connect and meet people. But guess what? They walk beside it because they can't see it, because something else has come up. So yes, I agree with you. I think that there is obviously more important conversation than love, because ultimately we will all be there where we will only really appreciate and understand that the important things are those moments, love, and relationships and things that bring us hopefully that inner peace, for final days.
You're absolutely right that people don't perceive it. There was a video that used to be online that's gone now called the money tree. I don't know if you've ever seen it. They put 100 $1 bills on a tree where people could just pass by it, and people would just pass by the tree. They would not see the money in the tree. And some people would look directly at the tree and not see the money because that's just where they lived in that moment.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Being present, being in the now.
Yes.
And stopping and pausing, and enjoying kind of, or understanding, why things happen. There isn't anything more important than stopping, pausing, relaxing, and reviewing kind of what we're here for, what we're doing. Anyway, Shiraz, thank you so much. Thank you for your wisdom. Hope to see you soon again.
Sounds
Lots of love to you. Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you, Shiraz. Very inspiring. We have, we've got an exciting panel coming up very soon. We're just going to share a very quick message and we'll be right back. It's only going to be just a few minutes. Thank you so much.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Harry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Moan and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast track your career now.
People from all over the world are seeking inspiration, looking for answers, looking to become the best version of themselves. The Best You series, we will feature the best speakers, coaches, authors, podcasters, and mentors, leaders in their own right. Innovators, influencers, inspirers of the 21st century. Available now on the Best You TV.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
Let me bring David in. David, how are you?
Good.
Good. You've got a really exciting panel coming up now.
I do. It's going to be filled with beautiful people inside and out.
Radical alternative healing.
Yeah, it's good. I was just texting them, just making sure everyone's ready to go. So yeah, this is good.
We got Angela here, Rose and Caramie, so we can bring them in. Should we bring them all in?
Yeah, Whitney should come on in, and there should be a couple. Yeah, more stuff coming too. But yes, send them in.
All right, let's bring them in. I'll just say hi and then just leave you to it.
All right.
Hey, Angela.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. And let me bring Rose in. There's Rose.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Rose.
Hi.
And there's Caramie.
Hey, there's Caramie.
Oh.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, and looking forward to hearing about radical healing. Take care.
Yes. We'll probably have a few more people joining us as well. Look, I want to jump right in, and we'll kind of do some intros, as we go, and people will kind of learn about you, as we weave some things in, and as you guys are sharing some of your thoughts, we'll have all kinds of things, pop up on the screen. So I'm not going to do a real standard intro for us at this point, just because I just want to get us into this as fast as we possibly can. But I asked everyone to be here based on the topic of radical alternative healing. And, I always like to just kind of set it up for the listeners and viewers at home, even people watching this later on. The word radical has gotten to be kind of a fun thing, radical responsibility, right? It's kind of like the fun way to say extreme, outside of the box, creative, extreme. That's kind of what people think of when they think of radical. And the reason why I've assembled you all here is because, the world has really led us to believe that we do not have the ability to heal ourselves that we do, or your bodies have abilities to heal themselves far beyond what the world is ever allowed you to believe, whatever way you kind of want to say that. And I think you are all perfect examples of, other ways to help and to serve. So without further ado, I wanted to kind of jump in here. Angela is a children's author. Bella Santini chronicles not just helping children, but also helping parents. She is both an advocate for parents and a champion for children. She's been a regular writer here recently for the Los Angeles Tribune, and also a part of a recent event at USA Today, which she also was featured in. Angela, how would you answer the question of, what you do? What's your unique approach to helping people heal?
My approach is really involving emotions, because emotions are what drive our behavior. And so by being able to truly manage, not control, but manage your emotions, then you're making conscious choices about how you behave. Really, instead of being reactive, you are responsive. And how this really ties into healing is that when we repress or reject our emotions, that energy stays with us and it becomes embedded in our cells, and it creates cellular changes. So over time, a continually repressed emotion can create dis-ease or disease. And so being able to truly know how to deal with even your most painful emotion is an important part of wellness.
Yeah. The alternative to not being able to deal with your emotions is the alternative isn't good when we can't deal with our emotions. But the truth is, and this is a much more serious and darker topic, but the truth is a lot of the problems we see in schools with children is the fact that maybe they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Is that fair to say, Angela?
It is, because no parent was ever taught how to deal with their emotion unless they went through, psychology studies. And so the parents aren't able to impart this knowledge to their children. The schools are just starting to teach social emotional learning in the last 10, 20 years, but it hasn't really caught on that much. And so kids are just left to dwell in their emotions.
Yeah. Next up, I'm going to have Caramie. And Caramie is the author of a new book, and she's out speaking, and she's been helping women for some time. She was also recently featured in USA Today. I'm proud to say that both Angela and Caramie, are clients of ours that we get to not just publish, but also publicize. And, Caramie, it's great to have you here today. When you hear about this topic and have been thinking about it, what does radical alternative healing mean to you? Like when you hear that, what does that mean to you? And how do you promote it or practice it?
Thank you, David. I actually think it's funny to call it radical because so much of what even Angela does, I do, is really so ancient. It really comes back to the body. It's not as extreme as we think it is. It really is about coming back to our own body, our own self. And one of the ways that I really love to work with people is in understanding how their stories are impacting them. Often trauma, I came from a culture where a lot of trauma was created. And through that trauma, I found that a lot of the trauma resided in the story I was telling about what happened, not the actual event that happened. And so by going back and rewriting my stories, even through the book that I wrote, it allowed me to start seeing it through a new perspective and start coming to see the gifts that came and unfolded from that. And allowed myself to let go of all the hurt that I was holding on to and start healing. And that's what I've been able to do for a lot of other people coming forward, even just recently.
Yeah, no, I like it. And I'm going to have everybody dive in and get even more specific as time goes on. Everybody here has a little bit of a unique approach, and everybody will share that. You heard from Angela kind of talking about the approach where she's actually writing fictional children's stories, as well as, hard-hitting news articles in the Los Angeles Tribune. Caramie just wrote a book, as well, and we're going to talk more about that. Somebody else that just recently wrote a book here is Rose Santiago. Rose Santiago, dear friend, client. She has her own podcast she's been doing. She had a retail store for a lot of years dealing with, essential oils and a lot of other, ways to help and assist, people in the healing approach. Rose, I love how you express your sight and your vision. Say hello and tell us how you express your sight and your vision.
Well, yes, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, David. I'm so happy to be here. Edward Moya, this love event is incredible. For me, I've come from a place where I had many challenges, physical challenges, indeed. And these physical challenges could have taken me down a road, I call it pity party lane road, where you can just feel sorry for yourself. You can just look at your life and say, wow, this could be really bleak and this could be a life of pain. And that could have been my life, but I chose not to look at my life in that sense. I chose to look at my life as possibility. And let me be more specific. I was born blind. So imagine I had optic nerve damage, something that was out of my control. So I'm born into this world without having sight. And it was the trajectory of my life was confronting those challenges of not seeing, but how can I work around that? And how can I come to a space where I can say, yes, I cannot see. That doesn't mean I don't have vision. I have a lot of vision. And that vision is of my future, of my present, of knowing that there's so much possibility in us. This is what I teach people is as a warrior for love and truth, which is what I present myself as. I teach people what they're not seeing about who they are and about stepping into that space where they can, even with the challenges, even with the craziness and all the things that can bog us down, we can move beyond that space and we can step into living with possibility, living with vision, which is what I chose instead of looking at my life as in a space of bleakness.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, you can see her book there, Live Your True Essence. That's actually a second edition. She put that book out a few years ago, and we had the privilege of helping her add to it and evolve it and re-release it, and how to become the bestseller that it is. So yeah, that's great, Rose. I'm going to come back to you more here in a second. I'm going to move over here to Whitney Diamond. Whitney, we met you through Ruth and Scott Barclay. I also met Caramie through Ruth and Scott, kind of a similar connection there. And Caramie and Whitney, you guys don't live too far away from each other. I mean, considering we have people in Singapore watching and Denmark watching, and you guys are relatively close to each other, right? You're only a couple hours away. But I love seeing the connection between all of you and you guys kind of meeting in these different events and the synergy. And it's a great reminder to everybody watching that this really is a community. And so reach out to these women, reach out to these other people, from what I understand, Whitney, you have an event coming up and you even invited Caramie to come be a part of, your event. And, I know Rose is interviewing people and, it's great to see. Whitney, you've got quite a background. It's very diverse. You're everything from entrepreneur working the books and accounting to a barrel racer. You're on horses, running around barrels, for those of you who might be watching another country and aren't familiar with what a barrel racer is. It's a pretty diverse background, right?
Yeah.
You're involved in everything from interior design to fashion to and you were just featured in USA Today as well. So when you think of radical alternative healing, I guess I was thinking about the work you do with horses. Can you tell the world a little bit more about how you involve horses in the ways that you help people?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to tie it right back to what Caramie said. It's funny that it's considered radical because the whole idea and concept is these horses are so primal, right, that they are able to help you just ground and reconnect and center into what's really going on. So radical in a way, yes, but it's definitely very based in history and what has worked. So it's amazing to see everybody coming back around to that on such a large scale. And all of us coming together and changing the collective is a really amazing thing. And like you said, I was just at an event with Crystal, who and she has this whole group of amazing entrepreneur women doing the same thing, just raising that collective and that idea of love and healing and community. So we use the horses quite a bit for trauma. And like Angela was saying, repressed emotions, things like fear. The horses are so good at being able to, in a very centered and balanced way, help you address those things. And you can't really lie to a horse. They're so sensitive and intuitive that it's really unique. And I hear very often people say, the thing that got through to this youth was taking them to the equine therapy. And so it is alternative, and it is at the same time becoming very widely accepted as something that can really break through and create a lot of change for people.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love that sentence. You can't really lie to a horse.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You can't really lie to a horse. That's going to stick with me. Yeah, this is great. All of you guys, ladies, I should say, all of you ladies here, you have this way of not just helping people, but just helping people talk about things that might be kind of hard. All of you are people that are kind of confidants, and I'm guessing you all find yourself saying, wow, why is this person telling so much to me? Why are they bearing so much of their soul to me? Who here can relate to that? You guys all, yeah.
Absolutely.
So Angela, I'll kind of shoot over back to you. Can you give us an example of somebody that you've helped with your approach, or that somebody that's come to you and said, hey, this really helped me and here's how? I find that sometimes specific examples are helpful, and all of you start thinking about that, because I would love, if we've got enough time, to give as many people a chance to say, hey, here's a person, here's a child, here's a woman, this is where they're at, and in this kind of time frame, this is what they started to experience. But go ahead, Angela.
Okay, so I was getting ready to be on a podcast and kind of in the green room behind, and the podcast host came on. And she said, I don't know if I can do this today because my best friend's son died in a car accident and I'm just flooded with emotion. And I said, look, this is a podcast. You're talking about life. We can reschedule. You don't have to do it today. But if you choose to do it today, just know it's okay for you to feel the emotions that you're feeling. And if you need to take 5 minutes to step away and cry and feel those feelings, give yourself permission to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was just, she sat back in her chair and she said, oh my God, I never thought of giving myself permission.
Yeah. Perfect.
And she did the podcast. It was perfect. And she dedicated it to that young man.
Yeah.
And what she emailed me later was, you know, the only reason I got on the podcast link was because I knew who I was talking to. And I knew that you could help me get through this.
Yeah. Yeah. Just giving somebody permission. I know this should be normal stuff, right? But you know, imagine that. It's, you know, yeah. Well, thank you, Angela. I'm going to shoot over here to Rose. Rose,
Yes.
I know that as you grew up and, you know, as you were faced with different medical conditions and, you know, all kinds of trials, you know, you went looking for other answers, didn't you? And some of that kind of came through essential oils and other things of that nature. You know, I know that you have kind of passed that wisdom along and even used it to help other people. Do you have a story that you'd like to share of yourself or of somebody else that's benefited from your approach? Can you share that a little bit?
Sure, absolutely. I remember before, when I didn't even have any idea about I didn't even know what essential oils were. But I know that I used to get the worst headaches from using chemical products that I didn't even know they had all these crazy chemicals in them that could actually disrupt your body, disrupt, you know, even, you know, hormonal disruptions, all kinds of things. But when I found out about essential oils and trying to get these headaches, because I was like, what do? I can't use these things. So I started doing research and I found information about essential oils. I actually found it and just started just diving into it because it was so incredible to me. Like, what? These essences can do all these things? That's how does that work? But I love the example, the quote that comes from Alana Millman. She says it so beautifully. And I want to share it with you guys because it just touched my heart. And this was how my journey to essential oils began. And she says it this way. She says, I invite you to drink in the divine nectar of aromatic love and let it penetrate you in the deepest, most profound ways. Trust that the oils are working side by side to heal, regenerate, and teach you. The more you use them, the more they'll reveal their secrets to you. Isn't that nice? Like, that was what I started to learn about essential oils and all the beautiful properties that they have in them that can literally change your emotions. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, fear, all of these low energy emotions that I call them, and get into the space of feeling uplifted and feeling and healing your body in different ways. So the headaches, I found, you know, I let go of all those products that I was using. And in my former business, I decided to start using these products, these essential oils and products in my company. And what of a blessing that was to my clients, to my employees. It was fascinating to see how they would tell me, we use these products. We're always smelling these essential oils. I mean, we don't even remember the last time we had colds and coughs and all these things. So it definitely was really transformational.
Yeah. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, so you're kind of living proof of your own practice and
Yes.
your own approach, and so I like that, and I know you have plenty of success stories as well. Caramie, I want to shoot over to you, and I think you all here have people sharing very personal parts of their life, and Caramie, you're definitely in that category. It seems like women will approach you and say things to you that they don't say to their spouse, they don't say to their doctor, they don't say to their priest, their bishop, I don't care, whatever their religious, they don't tell anybody, right? And yet here they are coming and telling you, they're telling you these really personal things, and maybe it's shame, guilt, embarrassment, whatever, for whatever reason, they're coming to you, and tell us a little bit about or maybe kind of give us the average experience, or even a specific individual, if possible, who's come to you with very personal things, and what your approach has been to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started a class one time called Awaken Your Magical Vagina, and I had women.
Whoa, okay.
So let's just jump right into that. My intention with that class is to be able to open up a safe space for women to actually express and come learn about their anatomy of their bodies. I realized the culture that I came from didn't supply any sort of knowledge around this. And in fact, it went beyond my culture. It went into a lot of different religious cultures of where we're not allowed to talk about certain things. We're not allowed to discuss certain things that are very basic part of our human anatomy and our human experience. And so I created this class, and I would have women come from all over. And what I started to find was that a lot of the women who were coming were women who just never felt okay to even open their mouth about it, let alone like really dive in and ask the questions and get comfortable with like understanding where all the shame was coming from. So it was a really unique experience to be able to sit there and have them start opening up and discovering that, wow, like maybe I'm not the odd one. Maybe there are other women who actually feel the way I do, who are having similar experiences. And you're right, I was getting questions from things or told things that they wouldn't even share with their husbands or their spouses or whoever it was. And it was really healing to see them not only start to be honest with themselves, but to then go away from the class, taking action to start creating what they wanted to, because they just started to discover what was actually possible. I believe in Western culture, we're taught so much that this is the one way of doing things. But then when I went and started getting some of my education in the Eastern culture, I started opening up to a more holistic view around women's sexuality that kind of really opened up my eyes and allowed me to see how much my own body could do. So when I started teaching that to women, helping them to understand the power of their own body and what she's able to do, it really started to empower these women to go home and start creating those experiences for themselves. And I was getting messages after messages flooding in of, oh my God, I had no idea that this was possible. And you've literally helped me to start saying yes or no and honoring my boundaries to stop giving where it wasn't a yes. Yeah. And it was really beautiful.
Yeah, that's fascinating, and probably everybody here can relate a little bit of that. When you put yourself in the universe in a certain way of like, I want to help people, it just seems like people start to show up, in your life in all these different ways. Whitney, it's very not just unique, but also very just fun of what you do, right? And it's not just horses, but you involve animals in helping people. Can you share a story with us and the audience that might help them better understand what it's like?
Sure. Yeah. First though, something that just is coming through pretty strong for me is the fact that what we're all doing is we're allowing a safe space for people to explore. That's every single one of us through this whole event. You think that you have to go to an intuitive, or I'm not this spiritual being, or I'm not this energetic being. But the reality is it's our God-given gift to be this energetic being. And we are so used to putting walls up that what's being offered here is a safe space. And that should be the norm. And unfortunately, it's so hard to find that. So this event cultivating that for people and just opening our minds up to the idea that we can be that's that's really amazing. It's
Yeah.
all of us facilitate a safe space, and even with the horses, they have such size to them and such grandeur, and there's this beauty. But even we have men come into the program and just experiencing that energy of something so masculine and something so strong but soft and willing. For example, we have one horse that is amazing with working with fear. So I've had men come into the program not even realizing that fear is containing their whole life, and just being able to, let's say we lay this horse down with them, and this horse is gentle and it's soft and it allows you in its most vulnerable space. When a horse is laying down, they're animals of fight or flight. So not unlike us in the world today, right? We're animals of fight or flight right now. And this massive, he's a massive horse, for him to just lay down and let you in his most vulnerable state, it changes things for a lot of people and opens up that safe space, and they feel it. So then the next time they want to find it, their body is able to recognize how it feels and invite that space in again. Yeah.
So you've seen some pretty hard-hearted or big masculine men actually melt when a horse gets involved, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So healing, this idea of healing, there's so much beauty in it, not only for kids and women, but to be able to have cultivate a space for men to come and let their guard down. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Not all of them have the feminine energy that I have, is what you're saying.
No.
Not all of them can wear a paisley shirt like this. I get it.
Hey, listen, your style is pretty good, David.
No, these are really important things, and I like the word sincere more than serious. But I do like the fact of, and I'm following all of your leads, that you're also comfortable with these topics, and part of the reason why I think people don't heal more is because it is the uncomfortable nature of just talking about any of these things. How are my children feeling in depression? And that's scary. And how do I feel, about what I want in a relationship or intimacy? And that's scary. And, how do I feel when, I'm trying these things that doctors are giving me, and, traditional medicine is failing me? That's scary. And you all have a very sincere approach to, hey, it's not, and here are some other things to try. And I love that you're all bringing up how what's radical isn't so radical, and sometimes things kind of go in and out of style, not that they should, and there's probably a reason for that. We only have a couple minutes left. I want to give you each just a chance to have like 30 seconds to just share whatever you want to share. We probably only have 3-4 minutes tops. I'm hearing 3 minutes. So let's take like 30 seconds here. Angela, last thought. What's the last thing you want to share with us?
So there are many paths to healing, and each person presenting today is focused on one path.
Yeah.
And not all paths work for everybody. So each one of us is an important aspect of a potential path for healing. We're a fractal of the whole. And so just listeners, feel in and see, which one seems right for me.
Yeah. Thank you. Rose, you're next.
Oh, yeah.
Last
Absolutely.
thoughts, 30 seconds.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, there are so many ways that we can heal ourselves. And we have the ability to heal. That is what is so beautiful, because the world today maybe thinks or believes or has us believe that we're limited in some way, that we need traditional medicine. We need, all these chemicals to be able to live a life that is, exceptional, and that we can do a lot of things. But actually, we have the ability to heal, and we can. I do it through essential oils and other methods, but essential oils has been so special in my life because it has helped me with emotional situations. It has helped me in healing ailments. So yes, it is something I believe in, and it's something that I know can help so many people. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you. Caramie.
Yeah, I would just say get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Like, just be willing to have the hard conversations, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you become.
Yeah. All right, Whitney.
Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to ask yourself the questions. You are a being of light, connected. We are all connected, even into the earth, the resonance of everything. So don't be afraid to ask the questions. They're hard, they're scary, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
You guys are all pros. You guys are all so professional. Like, you're down to, like, succinct answers, and it's almost like you've had some training and some practice. It's almost like you've done this before. This is good stuff.
David, thank you so much. What a great panel. And yes, very professional. They've been trained, I don't know by who, but they've done a fantastic job.
That wasn't me trying to take credit. But no, we've got to do this again. This needs to be like a 45-minute Q&A, and we got it all here. We got it all, Bernardo.
Yeah, sorry. Just bear with me. Okay. All right, cool. Sorry about that. We had some interference there. I was just saying that you guys, I thought the panel was very, very interesting, and the variety of subjects that you've all covered, and where you're coming from. And so I found it very, very inspiring, because as you were talking about, the idea of being open to be open, I think that's one of the issues we have. We just, struggle with being vulnerable, and I think that's one of the things that I've been transforming to, and being happy and open to talk and share about love, and it's just so needed. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Take care. Lots of love. All the best. Bye bye. Okay, David.
It would all be great to have back at the Best You. You have so many good people here to choose from. And are you going to have enough stages and platforms for the Best You Expo? You usually have quite a few, Bernardo.
Yeah, we got 10 stages. I think we've got the Love and Consciousness room, the Inspiration Zone, the Yoga Meditation. So there's so many opportunities for people to get involved with those. No, and listen, these are amazing ladies. Love Rose's story, Angela, they were all brilliant.
I mean them, but I mean, even all 3 days of this event, I mean, it's kind of like, talent search, right? It's like talent scouts. It's like, all right, you can this is really good. You're getting to see all these amazing people and talent. And all right, now for my next event, who gets even more time and more opportunities? This is good. You're a genius. I don't want to say evil genius, because you're doing the love event, but you're a genius.
Thank you so much, man. Take care. All right. Well, listen, we'll be back soon, and we're going to have Michelle Patterson joining us very quickly. Thank you so much. All the best.
All right.
The Best You has firmly established itself as a leader in the world of personal development for over 10 years now. As a leading global brand, The Best You has created and delivered many unique opportunities that have helped and supported so many people in achieving their dreams and aspirations. During this time, we've provided our customers with essential tools, skills, knowledge, and wisdom that is second to none. We have taken personal development to new heights, reaching hundreds of thousands of people from around the world, helping them discover their true purpose to ultimately becoming the best version of themselves. Since its launch in late 2020, we have built an amazing TV network where we share the best of the Best You, which is built with an impressive library of content that has been produced over the years, like the Best You Expo Talks, with all of the amazing speakers that have shared the stage. Inspiring People Interviews, where I interview top world leaders, speakers, athletes, and entrepreneurs. Such people as Baroness Michelle Mone, Alistair Campbell, Dr. Richard Bandler, Joan Amici, Michelle Patterson, James Arthur Reid, and so many more. Our NLP Live Talk series features talks from world-renowned NLP experts. In addition to NLP Live Talks, we launched our new TV show, The Best Series, where I interview some of the best coaches, speakers, mentors, and authors. People like Smita Joshi, Fiona Campbell, Erica Faye, Dr. Cheryl Wood, Barbie Layton, and the list goes on and on. Plus, there's a variety of other TV channels like the Rethink Academy, from renowned expert Paul O'Mahony, who teaches people how to make money with social media, how to nurture your list, how to manage social networks, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so much more. We're also very excited to announce our Mass Experience show. Sajady is an expert in transforming lives the fastest way possible. His methods break through the limitations of psychology, self-improvement, and even gene therapy. We have a number of these episodes streaming live now on the Best You TV. You can also watch Dr. Fabrizio Mancini's Thriving in the New Normal. Dr. Fabrizio Mancini is America's #1 healthy living media expert, a world-renowned chiropractor, Hay House International best-selling author of The Power of Self-Healing. In his show, he interviews world leaders like Jack Canfield, Nick Vujicic, Joe Vitale, John DeMartini, Brian Tracy, John Assaraf, Les Brown, and so many more. You can also watch Barbie Layton, You Are Amazing, where she interviews amazing people like Naveen Jain, Ken Honda, and Diana McKenna. What's exciting about the Best You TV is how we attract so many experts, leaders, well-being brands, and doctors interested in promoting their products and services. This is because they're able to target new and exciting markets by leveraging the power of TV apps like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, iOS, and Google Play. With engaging adverts with QR codes, information on the programs, and call to actions on their adverts. The Best You TV will soon be streaming hundreds of live events through its network. So act now. If you think you have what it takes and you're ready for the next level and becoming an instant recognized leader, then contact us today. The Inspiring People interview series is a collection of exclusive interviews sure to inspire and motivate you. I'm Bernardo Moya, the founder and Chief Inspirational Officer of The Best You. And in this series of interviews, I'm in conversation with industry leaders, thought leaders, self-made millionaires, Olympians, and global sports personalities, the influencers of today's world. I find out about their start in life, their early days, their rise to success, and both the good and the bad times. We discuss their opinions on education, business, money, and just how to be happier. Join us to find out more about these fascinating and inspiring people. Hey everyone, I'm gonna interview Michelle Patterson. She is a phenomenal lady with an amazing story. We're just running a few minutes late, but I'm just so excited to interview Michelle Patterson. So bear with me, just 2 more minutes and we're gonna start. Thank you so much.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, authors, and leaders with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Harry Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Mone, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo is coming back in LA in March 2023. Bigger, older. The Best You Expo will also be streamed on the Best You TV. This event is for anyone and everyone that wants to connect, reach, inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.